Hello guys and welcome to the Go4GW2 Cup. We had a slight delay, a little bit of technical issues, but now we've got it all sorted and the teams are in the arena. My name is Chronic and with me as always Jebro, which is now your new name. Yes, Jebro.
Okay, so thanks, Nick.
You're welcome.
Obviously got extremely bored and says that when that happens, he does strange stuff. Okay, yeah. So, which is the case. Hello, everyone in the chat. Welcome back. We have Wiggy's Wicked Wayne Gang versus Celestial Mode in the arena, ready and waiting. 2 weeks till WTS. We can jump in straight to the game. And
which is, I'd say just tell them we're ready to go and see how many builds we can do in the time. To not keep you guys waiting anymore or keep the teams waiting. Okay,
awesome.
Do you want to start off with the blue team or the red team? Pick one.
Start with red. Let's do that.
Do it.
Okay. Lemaining, wow, that volume is massively loud. Okay, Lemaining playing Meditation Guardian. He is going to be going full on DPS with the Marauders and the Pack Rune there as well. Quite slow, but he's going with that mace focus with the Great Sword. Bit of a change up from the hammer, of course, that we used to see because of that nerf. Then we've got the Engineer coming in. Tayskin, good to see him back in the day. Marauder with Pack Rune as well, going for tools, going for explosives and alchemy there for kinetic battery, as well as that effect on the kits for streamlined kits, getting that swiftness and whatnot as well. Running with the Elixir X there. Is King Xeon's going to be playing a Mesmer build here. He's going for interrupts. He's also going to the inspiration line, not going for chaos as we're seeing Helseth, and also Frostball using recently. Sinea going to play DP Thief. He's going to be playing with the Shadow Arts line rather than critical strikes. And then we've got Kranox, who's playing DPS Guardian, Meditation Guardian as well, with the Great Sword and also with the Scepter and Off-Hone Focus, going with that Marauder build there with the Pack Rune.
So we've got the two Medi Guardians going on today. Saw that last week. Yeah. Worked out quite well at first and then not that good anymore, but the burst potential is definitely pretty good, and just the cleave and the big team fights, and see how they will play off that team composition. By the way, this is kind of a new level of spawn ganking. Damn, what we saw there. It was a massacre.
And Tayskin to note is playing something very similar to 5 Gauge's build. I can't remember if it's exactly the same, but he's playing Marauder's Engineer build as well.
Being a bit aggressive. Okay, and on the other side we have CELE. They're going to be playing first Korriban, who is a Mesmer. He's going to be playing a Great Sword and Staff, Emperor's Rune, Marauder's Amulet, and do we see... Yeah, this is the normal... No, it is not with the Mental Anguish. He's going for Power Block, but not the Inspiration trait line. Then we have Mr. Blue Legend, who's going to be playing the Dagger Pistol Thief, Emperor's Rune, Marauder's Amulet, and of course Shadow's Arts. Not really anyone anymore going for critical strikes. That's maybe if someone like just really wants to burst stuff down. Doesn't really care about the match that much, just wants to have fun. Then we have High Lord Euphoria, who's going to be playing that Fire Elementalist, Dagger Celestial, Vamprune, and then going for Fire instead of Earth. Those nice Blinding Ashes, pretty powerful. Other than that, normal build, three cantrips, and the Conjured Fiery Greatsword. And for the rest of the team, we apparently still need to wait a tiny bit. We've got Ghost from Paradise in the arena, but not on the team yet, and one person is still missing.
Yes, indeed. We're excited to start off the ESL Go4GW2 Cup today. If you have just joined us, 530 people. We're not going to go through all your names, but it's 3:30. We are only just starting. This is the first game, and
it's 6:30. Still, your time zone is not actually your time zone.
What's that?
It's 4:30.
Wow. What? Where is it? 6?
I was somewhere. Yeah. I saw 16 on my PC clock.
Okay.
Yeah, my mind works in very, very simple ways. Sometimes. Most of the time, honestly.
You are crazy.
So what? Yeah, probably.
Okay, so having a look over on the... I'm just having a quick look at Korriban again.
Okay.
Oh, we've got someone else. Go for it. Go. Let's do this.
Optimus. Is he Optimus Prime? Written a bit differently. He's going to be a Guardian. That's going to be the Bunker Guardian. We see that nice Feel My Wrath, Clerics, Amulet, Soldiers. And then we've got Valor, Virtues, and Honor. Awful. Yeah, this is the standard Bunker Guardian we've seen, which can rest to great effect. Like, there are a couple of teams we've seen in the past that really had trouble keeping people down. It's basically, if you have more than one person resing, and it's Feel My Wrath, that's almost a guaranteed res. Like, it's really, really difficult to cleave against that. Without poison, not a chance.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also have to keep in mind that's on a 30-second cooldown. Is he missing a trait, or was it changed? It was 26, right?
That's just 24.
24.
He's probably missing a trait then.
Which one is it?
Yep, he's missing Pure Voice. He's actually gone for he's actually gone for Force of Will, so you have increased vitality, healing effectiveness to other allies increased. Really, Pure Voice is the better trait to go for probably in this build because, like we say, you know, shout abilities have their recharge reduced by 20%, and you have conditions converted to boons. You know, I just think that's probably the better one to use. It's pretty much the main reason.
You're running 4 shouts.
Yeah, it's a shout. It's a shout build. So yeah, I mean, he's going for the extra healing and healing effectiveness. So I hope he's hoping to out heal rather than you know, change those conditions into actual boons and actually get those cooldowns. But like you said, he's actually changed to renewed focus, which is probably another reason why.
Ah, okay.
Get more passive healing. Yeah, you can get more passive healing from virtue of Resolve as well.
Depends. I'd say go for the resing, but honestly, double Ellie and then the Guardian, that's gonna be rough to kill. And he just left again, but it was another Elementalist, and I think, well, only question is it Earth or is it Fire? Or maybe even Wind? But
that Elementalist type, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, sure.
Warhorn.
What?
It's coming, people. It's coming. I'll try and think up a song later about the Warhorn, but I'm not too sure. But at the moment,
interesting.
We
So
are
wait, Ghost from Paradise, and he's gonna be that Earth Elementalist. So we've got the Stoneheart going on. So basically, tank, support, tank, and then we've got also a Pain Train going on. So let's see how they fare in the first match of today. It's a quarterfinals of the Go4GW2 Cup. On the red side, it's WAG. On the blue side, it is CELE.
We're looking for a red team four-man cross at the moment, and even Lemaining is going up towards mid, actually. Might even go for that boss kill. They're just going for the kill over towards that archway on the blue team. The blue team are stealth themselves. The red team are going for the cross over towards one-man crossover towards Henge, and actually going for the boss in a very, very, very random move here from the red team as they pick up 2 Guardians over on the other boss side, getting 50 points.
Ignoring the first cap of the mine, I mean, that's not going to be contested, although if Mr. Blue Legend maybe is fast enough, but no, he won't be. I think that's going to be the full cap after all. He's yet not even sure if he wants to go there, kind of waiting for the call of where all the enemies are. After the re-engage, we saw the engineer keeping it all neutral, and now they want to try and get the cap over on the Henge, managed to drive out the blue team, at least everyone except for the Mesmer, who's almost getting the kill on King Xeon, but the assistant is there. We're going to see him go into Vapor Form, and after that shortly, probably dead.
We actually saw Corbin putting a portal up towards mid, and we did see the escape potentially, but someone from the red team was ready and waiting to just get the kill there. 2 downstates on the map as we see Mr. Blue Legend below keep in downstate, as well as over on the Henge we see Corbin going for the downstate over there, but we are going to see the pick of Ghost from Paradise grabbing that mine node now as well, with the response of High Lord, who's just going to push ahead to make sure they do get that cap. At the moment, red team are winning at the moment. It's not looking too bad for blue, though. I mean, they're doing okay in some situations. When they broke out into the map, they grabbed early caps, and they got some points on the board. Whether or not they're going to be able to keep that is another thing, as we had the massive burst coming out from the maining over onto High Lord, over on the mine now as well. Is he going to go down? It's very close. He's got Armor of Earth as well. Sinair comes in to get some nice focus. The Thief on that team is going to come in, and we are waiting for the red team, Mesmer Xeon, to come in as well, as he tries to get some focus on Korobon over on the side. He's not able to get that interrupt off, unfortunately for him. But we are going to see High Lord drop into the downstate. Red's possibly coming in from the blue team as well. They're going to be able to get him up, and Uncle Gudding comes in as well. That's where the shout would have been very useful for that res, and unfortunately High Lord going to be cleaved out here in the end.
Okay, I'm very surprised at what the Thief is doing here right now. He could just try to outrun him, or basically just get the quick port up to mid. Now he's holding him off, so that's good. Goes on Paradise on that point, but he could have gotten that decap probably a lot sooner, and then maybe afterwards when the recap comes and even the decap on the henge, played it more for the engage. We might see a double decap, however. A bit split. Tayskin, jumps in with the proc of that Rampage and is now, well, making quick work of High Lord Euphoria. That Rampage just hurts.
Yeah, at the moment, I mean, a bit of an outnumbered situation over on the mine. They have moved back into the map a little bit, but blue team are 2v1 over on the henge at the moment, but the red team holding out strong there at present. Kranox just trying to hold that as well over on midpoint. This Blue Legend currently in the downstate, as we see more bodies drop across the board. Korobon down, and also Ghost from Paradise. So we're going to see the henge is going to be contested for now. Blue team need to end that very quickly, which is why they've lost this fight here over on the mine as well. They were one member out there.
And 9 life.
Oh, good lord. Kranox moving over towards the henge now as well, as they are going to try and contest this point even longer. CELE doing a great job actually contesting that point for a long time indeed. Sorry, not Ellie. Did I say Ellie? It was Tayskin, sorry.
Yeah, it was. And now we have 3 people moving in again just before the regroup even. Well, the regroup kind of happens, but they're splitting up. Another boss on the side of the red team. Kranox with the chase on Optimus. He's going to try and make it up to the mid. So that is basically where the entire team fight, I think, should move. Obviously, 2 people moving over to the mine. That's going to be, plus wanting an already existing 2v1. Mr. Blue Legend could maybe change something. Is he going to jump in? No, he's busy with Tayskin.
Yeah, I mean, Tayskin's pretty low. If we can take him out now, that would be very useful. He's in Marauder's Amulet as well, so he's not got the sustain of that CELE, of course, that we used to have ages ago, or the extra toughness that comes with that Soldier's Amulet as well. But that's why he's got Elixir S for that survival, of course, with the stealth, which is what he's managed to get as he runs away here towards the midpoint. But it's still quite low. The pursuit would actually be good from Blue Legend here. If we can actually take him out, that would be pretty good.
But right now, he's already close to Kranox. That engage was a bit questionable. He maybe would have had a better chance of +1ing the fight over on the mine and helping those guys out, making a 3v2 instead of a 2v2, which basically was already lost before the first +1.
Yeah, we're seeing at the moment as well, Korobon and also Xeon kind of dueling from afar with great swords at the moment, which is kind of odd. Mr. Blue Legend is going to try and port over towards Optimus for the res, but Kranox jumps on him with that meditation port, and with that whirling attack from the great sword, he's going to be cleaved out as well. Optimus in a dodgy situation, caught between 3 men as he moves up towards mid. The Mesmers use this opportunity to get the decap in a bit of a distraction tactic. If Optimus can get up here, then maybe they can engage in this team fight, and more of a skirmish, with the 3 members from each team over on this point. Blue team can take something back from this. They can come back into the game. Although most members are on the map now in this node. We are going to see Mr. Blue Legend as well. Could possibly go for a decap over on the mine, or whether or not he's going to come up and try and get the res with Optimus. But this fight feels like it's being lost at the moment for Blue team, and the Thief coming in is only going to make it worse.
Yeah,
and probably they should just start to dissipate across the map. Yeah. Getting that decap at mine would have been a nice idea as well.
Right now, he needs to run. He needs to try to get out of sight, try and get that stealth up, and do something sneaky, but if possible, not too risky. We see the random panic strike proc. He's not going to get a decap there. Kranox is just standing. Half-Life engage against Half-Life. No. Gets demobilized. Tries for the first burst, but Lemaining comes in from the other side. Gets the first dodges, but afterwards, a lot of burst potential there into the dodges from the red team, but finishes himself off by jumping to his death. He was so young.
Well, make you respawn a bit quicker, I suppose, as well as we're going to potentially see Taskin try and take out the blue team Mesmer here over on the Henge as they start to regroup and await for Ghost from Paradise to come back into the map. Sensible idea from the blue teams. They are contesting as well over on the mine.
Creature.
Indeed, yes. Remaining 1v1 versus High Lord at the moment. He should be able to maintain that point if he doesn't get any burst over onto him. This is a better move from the blue team now, as they are defending this Henge node. They've got the capability to do that, and the Thief 1v1 comes in for the +1 over on mine. So this is actually a really better rotation from blue team. And as that happens, they can push to mid. But Henge, they're gonna lose that node, no worries. And unfortunately, Optimus is going to be dead. That's a very sad moment when that happens in the movies.
Now they're both kind of going for the decap. We're going to see Sinea probably getting the engage on something sooner or later. Oh, Fatmas, the Blue Legend, tries for the engage. We've got, in theory, a Mesmer that could have the back of Blue Legend, but also Xeon, so that's going to be a 2v2. Sinea porting out Blue Legend after the Vapor Form proc. Probably a bit dead. Oh, makes it out alive into refuge, but the auto attack is going to bring him down. No chance of rezzing there, I guess, because Korriban also already Vapor Form proc. Oh, nice move there. Still is burning on. Won't be downed. Not enough damage in that case.
We can see another boss kill for the finish here over on the Svanir, of course. Red team are starting to gang up on this. So we're going to see a blue team steal. No, that's going to be the end of the game. Wiggy's Wiki Wang Gang taking the first game over on Forest of Niflheim. Going to Fofi next, see if CELE can come back in that set. But they started to do a bit of a good rotation towards the end of the game. They had a last movement towards mine with the +1 and potential mid movement with the distraction over on the Henge of one player. Probably WAG just committing too much to that. Maybe,
just wanted to say a 4-man stealth engage on one person trying to defend the Henge after getting the boss.
Yeah,
might be a bit of an overcommitment here and there. Leave some spots open for the decap, and they took advantage of that. So that's good.
Yeah, exactly. So it wasn't too bad in the end, but we'll have to see if it's going to work better on this map. How the Mesmer is going to do with those portals, of course, and what they're going to be using. If they're going to go for Mo or they're going to go for the time up, of course. How do you think we can change that? They can change what they do. I mean, their movement towards the end of the game was better. Maybe, first game they haven't played against each other much. Obviously, trying to gauge their movement, and we haven't really seen Wicked Wang Gang playing like that, going for 2 bosses right at the beginning of the game.
Yeah,
it's a bit insane.
A bit weird. Surprise factor, I guess. Like, what? 2 bosses? Where are they? This doesn't make sense. And I mean, they did it quickly, and they recovered, of course, but honestly, for everyone out there, doing 1 boss in certain situations may be okay, but still risky. Doing 2, don't do that. Don't do that if you queue yourself.
No killing.
No killing.
You just can't have that. No more.
More killing, but okay, that sentence would have not players, not creatures. See, the word choice makes a difference.
The point score is immensely different, obviously, because of those boss kills and the amount of kills that came out from Wiki's Wicked Wang Gang. But they're teaming up well as a group of 5 people. They're using their force across the map pretty effectively, and they're taking control of fights. They're outnumbering. They're holding nodes pretty well as well. They're bringing people into situations, making it look attractive, like Taskin going over to mid, and then we saw Cranox coming in for the burst over on that midpoint and getting the kill quite easily. When it was probably quite a good pursuit, I didn't notice that Cranox was there actually, as I was just concentrating on the fight. But suckered me into there. So. Just waiting for these teams to ready up.
WAG going for the 2 creatures in the beginning. Do you think we're going to see a first-minute Lord Rush?
Oh god.
Would it happen?
They could.
They might.
I mean,
they are 5 berserkers. They're going to get that made quick. They're going to get them down. Yeah.
Oh, 5 marauders.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Older berserkers.
The old berserkers, now marauders. Never mind.
I was going to say. 5 berserkers, wow. That would be very painful. They don't want to have many team fights at all. Got like no sustain, that'll be horrible. But other than the fact that they need to kill the other team first, which was kind of happening. Yeah, I mean possibly. I mean they could just go straight Lord Rush, then go to Waterfall, just outman there, and then take the rest of the map. I mean they've got that cushion of points where a free cap can be taken back after you kind of lose 150 points or so if you team wipe. And then you got to regroup, so he could do. It's possible.
By the way, we're not trying to reason this as a sensible decision. We're just guessing if they might do it. In any case, it's not good, but they might. They might.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was advisable, to be fair. But, these guys at the beginning of the last game, they think they can pull that kind of thing off. So, I mean, next game, if next series, if they do win here, they're going to be going up against oRNG Logo. Same tactics won't work, obviously, on that map because they'll just be taken out in different places and they'll probably lose those bosses if oRNG Logo do get the stealth up and they move into those fights.
We've got a slight bit of change from Optimus, who is now going for Sentinel's Amulet and Rune of Mercy. So basically a res bot.
Okay. That's going to be interesting.
Still with renewed focus.
Jesus, Mr. Blue Legends looks absolutely insane. In fact, all these players do. They've got like the best skins. They've got awesome skins.
Well,
anyway.
if I've ever seen a mad scientist.
Yeah, he's going for intelligence sigils as well, so you can get the extra vigor regeneration on crit there as well. He's still going for renewed focus, not changed up to pure voice either. So yeah, I mean, if he's running that build, I mean, I would just say literally, probably. I mean, the extra healing effectiveness from Force of Will, he might need that because he's not got any healing stat now on that amulet, of course.
Well, but
in fact, he's got no healing stat at all.
Yeah. Just leave the healing bit. Just rest, wait for people to die, and then you have your moment.
It needs to be mobile. Thinking as well, maybe a sword on this map might be good, especially if he's running that amulet, because he'd be able to actually focus on the target, get the sword, pour in and res even quicker. I mean, it's just going to be a distance, it's going to be a gap closer, because if he's going to be a res bot, it needs to be fast. He's got no healing power. I mean, it's a very interesting way to run this build, that's for sure.
I'm just imagining a scenario where Guardian just stands on the sidelines, does nothing, and then someone down. My moment to shine. What's in res? Yes, success.
Well, that's why he's changed to Celestial Amulet as well, because it's got some healing power. You can get some burning off with conditions. Okay. You can do a little bit of damage. When you empower that staff as well, you can do a little bit of damage. You can assist, but it's nothing major. It's nothing that's game changing, of course.
He's trying something.
Yeah, fair play. Obviously, Tage tried the Celestial Amulet before last WTS to see if that was going to be a thing. Turned out it wasn't. If you're going to be playing Bunker Guardian. Yeah, well, pretty much. I mean, if you're going to be Bunker Guardian, go for the healing stat. Go for the stats you need, because you need, obviously, support that build is mainly focused around support, so you need that healing power.
Yeah. I want to see someone just go complete res bot, like similar to what we've seen there, but maybe also with the Feel My Wrath in there.
Oh, the Ranger, we used to see that.
Just res everything. Yeah. We saw that once. It wasn't made in meta, right? The Mercy Ranger.
Yeah, I think so.
If I remember correctly. Well, not going to see that today. Rangers kind of vanished from the face of the earth. But now let's have a look at this match. In the second match in this best of 3. WAG on the red side currently in the lead with 1 win. And CELE on the blue side.
And an
AFK Optimus.
Oh.
Oh, no. Whoa. What is happening?
I had that as well.
God DC'd recap. Yeah, this needs to be a restart, I guess. Yeah, everyone stopped. We're gonna have a restart. If the guard stays in the base with a split, you can kind of see that something is up.
I think the spelling of that was slightly off. Okay, so we're just going to spin the maps around quick.
Yeah, if you're missing a letter from a word, it can suddenly completely changes meaning.
Oh, someone made actually just looked at the chat as well, which is something I was thinking about as well. Is someone just mentioned about how the quickness shout would be actually really really good with the mercy rune. So yeah, good pickup in chat. Sorry, I missed that was actually something I was thinking about. I didn't say.
You also missed what I talked about. Yes.
Did you say that? I didn't. I was not paying attention to what you said then. I'm sorry.
I said I want to see a Guardian go complete full-on res, but with the Feel My Wrath and the Mercy Rune.
Ah, I missed that bit. Sorry, I must have been trying to sort something in the map.
Jebro.
My bad.
Disappointed in you.
Well, it's so difficult to get these guys readied up and starting today for some reason.
I know. I'm jesting.
Anyway. Thanks for joining us for the ESL Go4GW2 Cup number 39. Apologies, I have a nasty cold as well, which I want to get rid of very quickly. And it's raining today as well. So typical.
You have to eat a kilo of oranges.
No.
Why not?
Because I don't like oranges.
What? Get out of here.
Pretty horrible. Get the hell out of here.
Yeah. Really.
What are you talking about?
Oranges are magic.
Anyway, with the orange magic stuff. Yeah, we can't see the icons because it's a issue. Let's just say that.
Let's call it an issue. For your convenience, I from time to time show you guys the scoreboard where the icons still work, so you can have an overview of what the teams are actually playing.
Indeed.
So we've got Mesmer, Ellie, Guard, Thief, and another Ellie on the blue side who has not joined yet. And then we have a double DPS Guardian, a Marauder NG, and then Mesmer Thief on the red side. Now you know.
Indeed, we are just waiting for... I know, guys, we're just having a few problems today. Technical problems, that's the beauty of live television. If you've ever seen a live television show before, we have the same kind of problems if they come up.
Yep.
Technical issues. You have 10 people, you have more than 10 people. We have tons of casters in the arena today as well. You can see we have an English cast, we have a French cast, we have a German cast, and we have a Chinese cast. So we actually are covering a ton of areas as well today. So we've got a little bit more to worry about than most regions, of course.
Where are the Spanish dudes?
Yeah, and we haven't got a Spanish cast today. Jesus,
honestly,
got so many.
Might have space issues if we had Spanish as well, won't we?
Sorry?
Wait. No, the Spanish would just fit in there. We have 2 more spots left in theory.
That's right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Don't sing again.
No,
Do not rap the Lord Rush. Now let's see if maybe WAG goes for the first minute Lord Rush. We didn't really see much of the last game due to an AFK, but now we get into it. On the blue side, we have CELE. On the red side, it is WAG.
Watching the splits come out now as well. Tasking going to go towards the close point. Like blue team might be doing a bit of a crossover towards that node as well, as we see the Thief and Mesmer from the red team possibly pushing over towards Waterfall with a similar split from blue team, as we actually see Optimus going over towards midpoint versus the 2 Guardians there with the support of High Lord. If they can sustain there, that would be great. I'm going to see the burst possibly coming out from blue team onto Taskin here as he pops up the Elixir S there to make sure that he's going to be invulnerable with the pursuit of Lemming, who comes right into Karobo and the blue team Mesmer there, and needs to be very careful himself as Tiskin does also stealth up and move back into the node. Kelstorm on point as well to just put some down cleave on the area, but red team are going to pick up that waterfall point there as well. Ghost of Paradise actually escaping and can move back to mid, so good thing for him that he can survive there and support that fight over on mid, sustain it. Hopefully blue team can win this 2v2 here over on the quarry, which would be very good for them, but at the moment they are losing it with Mr. Blue Legend in the downstate. Currently we have seen Chronox as well downstated over on a midpoint with Shea trying to go for the res. We're going to see High Lord, nice interrupt with the earth. Oh no, he's so close to getting that res there. Third ability didn't get him up enough. We're going to see the Shadow Refuge coming out. The res is almost good. Oh my god, I was sure he's going to get it. The down cleave from blue team is so good here. No interrupt coming out from the second ability on the downstate. Guardian Lemaning goes in for the res as well. And 2-man wipe coming out from the red team. Snare almost going down himself. Mesmer Pursuit is good for blue. Pops him into the proc of that Vamp rune. And blue team making a great start here. Starting off with the actual retreat over on the waterfall. Good job from Ghost. And actually retreating from that quarry point as well. Really good choices from the blue team.
Feeling
hopefully.
like Sinea had a bit of an itchy withdraw trigger finger there. He could have gotten a res at first. There was almost no cleave coming out after the second interrupt. I think if he committed to it, he could have gotten that. Well, decided against it. Got a two-man wipe. Of course, also a bit of an overcommitment from the rest, but now making up for it, getting the kill on Optimus, securing the waterfall again.
They've overcommitted here. They've sent people over onto the quarry when they probably should have helped to defend the waterfall. So the momentum that they had has kind of dissipated now, and actually they might lose that quarry fight because they're just completely ignoring the elementalist over on mid. So now they're going to be pretty much 4v3 over on that quarry node, and we are going to see the Mesmer push mid and actually start to make the elementalist forces cooldowns over on that point. We've seen some small portal for Koroborn going over towards midpoint, as well as High Lord is going to nip back through that portal actually to contest that point, possibly in a 1v2 situation, so that blue team can get a leg up over on the midpoint and try and get a kill over here. Koroborn has just gone into the Vantform proc there as well, with another portal spawned over on that point as well. So they need to be very careful here. His main focus seems to be Tayskin here. He is the Marauders Amulet Engineer. He's going to be one of the weaker people to take down, but Koroborn's still quite low himself. Needs to be very careful as he advances here. And also High Lord, we are going to see actually Sinea going for the port up on top of the waterfall, just watching out for that node, as well as trying to get a bit of an angle and actually trying to escape from Koroborn here. And also High Lord are trying to take out Sinea here and actually get the defense, the push over on that waterfall. But as we see King Zeon coming in as well, he's just taking that gate down over on the Lord. Needs to be careful as they come into this node. This is where this team fight is going to be starting to erupt here as well. 2v2, sorry.
Yeah, the decap attempt might have been a good idea if you got an immobilize off or something, but then you also need the overview. He didn't spot King Zeon until he already attacked him. Meaning that even with one immobilize, if it had hit, we still would have had King Zeon on the spot, not getting the decap. And this way, it's just basically walking into 3 collapsing DPS people. DPS people, that's what we call them now.
we talk a lot about people recently. Shadow Refuge coming up from Snare there. We are going to see, sorry, not Snare, from the blue team Thief. We are going to see possibly Koroborn is going to be cleaved out here and just needing to, they don't even need to go for the downs. They've got so much cleave potential, the red team, sorry, that they can just easily take those points, take those kills. Yeah. Optimus going for the decap over on the quarry. How long is he going to be able to sustain alone if blue team can retreat successfully over to waterfall? The midpoint now. Ghoster from Paradise very low. Nice support coming out from the team here. High Lord is trying to keep him up as much as possible. There's no way he's going to be able to res him in all that cleave that's coming out. No one from the blue team able to move to mid quick enough potentially for High Lord to be able to disengage. Should go down here. Although we all can see, nice rotation of attunements from High Lord, trying to get his HP up. Saved himself a bit of time but died off node. At least they've got the point contested, but they need to probably save something over towards this quarry node as well. Rotating towards their support would be quite a good idea. Koroborn's trying to keep Tayskin away, which is actually quite a good idea as well, but I don't think that's going to be possible as the rest of the red team members can push in here quite soon.
WAG went a bit berserky there for my taste. Pretty much just an overcommitment to the waterfall, but getting away with it because they are getting the kills. And now pushing over to that quarry node, we've got mid secure, and they just don't want to stop, and they don't really have a reason to. Well, Sinea, there might be an opening for the blue team to get a bit of a turnaround. It's not too bad with the points yet, but the rest puts a stop to that already. Good follow-up burst from Caribbean, remaining on it again. We see the first interrupt, and he didn't really commit to it. We see the static field coming out. Nice. First knockback. Sinea still down, remaining with a follow-up, and that is what you get with a too much rest commitment from a 5 Marauder team. No one really who can stand in that cleave if you don't. If you're not spot on with that rest start, needs to happen immediately.
They saved it there, really. I mean, coming in with the staff knockback was a really good idea. Tayskin has actually rampaged up over on the quarry. Almost could have got that kill on Mr. Blue Legend there, actually, and not thinking about using the rampage to disengage. Although he did start to, and is now moving towards the midpoint. Possibly, but the reason is look, we've got a bit of a Lord Rush going on. As Krenox has got the Lord down to about 0%. Oh my god, the healing coming out from High Lord. I'm not sure Krenox has got enough burst. That was an epic. Oh no, but he might be able to get him down here while he's in downstate. He has to go for the heals. What's he going to do?
Really?
Blue Lord very
still
close
alive?
down. Oh my god.
Doesn't get the stun.
That is great. High Lord, Euphoria. Great defense of Lord there and actual sustain, making the good choice and going for the regeneration because your downstate Guardian can still do a lot of damage with that first ability. But that was good job from him.
With a Marauder at least a little bit, and we saw it almost be enough, but not quite, and he must be euphoric now, because this is basically the... I know, so bad, I apologize. This is basically what can bring them back into this game, but we see the first down already. We've got a huge team fight going on. 3v3 right now. No, it's 4v3 actually.
Oh, they can get this, Res. They should be able to get this. Yeah, they should be able to get it. There's 3 of them there. Yeah, there you go. Easy. But we have seen Tornado coming out as well, which helps. And we've got the down cleave of Chaos Storm. And now Blue Team can probably go get some momentum off this. But Mr. Blue needs to be very careful. He doesn't need to be so involved. Yeah, going down there. He really could have just moved out of point there. Carabon as well. I felt like they could have got some momentum on that. But... you know, are we going to see Cranox going for a Lord Rush again? This is not the best timing, as they will be respawning quite soon, and it will be an easy Lord defense. We're actually going to see, look at High Lord again. Like, High Lord's probably MVP for the blue team at the moment. He's disengaged from that fight. Now, if a losing situation, might actually even pick up the cap. We're not even going to see Mr. Blue Lord Mr. Blue Legend, going for the defense of the Lord at the moment. And no one is aware that this is happening because obviously he's not been engaged and Cranox has picked the right time. They need to try and get back over to this node and actually come back. Like Ghosts from Paradise is going to respawn, but I don't think he's going to be quick enough.
He is fairly quick now with a Lord half HP already. And he's pulling that renewed focus to get a bit of life back because, yeah, these side guards still hurt quite a bit. But he's going to get that no one in range whatsoever. That's going to be a secured Lord, and they're only 50 points away from a victory here. They still got the waterfall, and they are good, looking good with that quarry stomp coming out. Portal already to get back into mid. Only remaining at this present moment. The cap is still there, but with that double cap, that's going to be a quick end to this match. And yeah, honestly, I wouldn't really have imagined him going for a solo Lord Rush again, so I can't really blame them for not reacting to that fast enough.
Yeah, I mean, they had the respawns. The thing is that it was not like he was hidden. He was kind of blatantly there. They could have just peered to the right, on map. They didn't really have enough bodies on map to say, oh, we've got these many people missing because there's only like 2 or 3 of us on the map at the moment. So it's quite difficult in that situation. So just a peek to the right-hand side wouldn't have been too difficult to do. And maybe they could have got some more points in this game. But Red Team proving that they are the victors today, obviously. And we are going to see them in the semi-final versus Orange Logo. Just double check the brackets.
They will be there, but we might actually pick the other one. To discuss that, which we're going to go for. We're going to go into a quick break. WAG moving on, of course, to the semi-finals. We'll give you an update when we come back. So stay tuned for the upcoming semi-finals of today's Go4.
See you soon.
Hello and welcome back to the Go4GW2 Cup. I'm still Chronic, that's still Jebro, and the next match is going to be the semi-finals. It is TCG versus oRNG Legionnaires. Yes, the L is to indicate that this is kind of what could be considered the Orange B team, maybe?
This is the Orange Logo backup team, yes. The backup players who can join in, should they so need to. So, yeah, interesting to see similar almost. Let's just double check. I don't think we've got an NG playing over on TCG at the moment. Obviously, TextB is playing Elementalist, and so is Lipion still. It seems like it's going to be a solid thing. But we do, of course, have Big Zan playing on Engineer. This has been solid for a while now. So almost pretty much mirror matchup going. Well, no, it is a mirror matchup going on between these two teams. Same comps. So we have on the red team. I can go through those guys first if you want.
Oh yeah, I need to switch teams. There we go. TCG on the red side. Okay, what? I should take one? Which one? I'm gonna take blue. So
you having a conversation by yourself then?
Yeah, I'm talking to myself. I want to have a good person to talk to, so I'm talking to myself. Starting off with Chosen Sin on the side of Orange Legionnaires. Chosen Sin is going to be playing Dagger, Pistol, Shadow Arts Thief, of course, going for that Blinding Powder. No real Infiltrator's Rune anymore. Curve Ellie is going to be an Elementalist. Dagger Celestial is going for that Fire. And we have Frostball. He's going to be playing, that is Mental Anguish, I assume. Yeah, Mental Anguish, Mesmer. So that's going to be Shatter and hurting quite a bit. No Mantras coming out here. An Argineer on an Engineer. Like the name indicates, he's going for Soldier's Amulet, so not the very aggressive variant we saw in the last game. Alchemy, Explosions, Inventions, anything particular you want to mention about this build? It's an Engineer. Go at it.
He's going for siege rounds with the mortar kit, of course. There's a good synergy between that, and he's going for defensive with the toolkit. Slick Shoe's really good for the down potential and also for the survival of his team, and also to get some nice focus damage as well out. But yeah, I think it's pretty similar to exactly what TCG playing as well, so we can probably talk about it even more when we go to them.
Yeah, we can. Then Alcor. Alcor's going to be the second Elementalist on the side of Orange Legionnaires. He's going for that Earth line, Stoneheart, so going to be a bit more tanky there. Otherwise, still Dagger, Celestial, 3 cantrips, and that Fiery Greatsword. Curve Ellie. Oh, we had... Wait. Yeah, we had him already. Never mind. He rejoined. So we're done with Orange Legionnaires. Go over to TCG.
Okay, so you got your WTS, first EU team going through to WTS, of course, in Cologne. So starting off with the team captain, Mr. Helseth himself, or Lord Helseth. Can't forget the Lordness. Domination, dueling, and chaos, of course. He's going for things that are very important, such as Mirror of Anguish. He's going for PU, of course, over in the chaos line as well. Deceptive Evasion is standard for Shatter builds. And then things like Mental Anguish is still going for confounding suggestions on Interrupt to get that stun, of course. Very useful off the third Shatter, of course, on his Shatter abilities over on the F1 skills there. But now, of course, going for Mara as well. Very effective with his portals. Big Zan playing very similar build over towards Argineer as well. He's going for that Siege rounds as well with a Mortar kit there as standard. Soldier Rune with Vamp Rune with Soldier's Amulet, as well as the Intelligence and Dodge Sigil over on the Rifle, of course. A lot of sustain. You can do a lot of... He's very, very essential in this 3-man push that TCG do very consistently sometimes on maps when they have that stealth movement between himself, Levin, and Helseth, where he can lock down targets, and Helseth and also Red Levin coming in from the burst. So that opener sometimes, you know, could come out on these maps depending on the rotation of the opposite team. Red Levin going to be playing the Shadow Arts Thief, of course, with the extra stealth that comes out from this mood, from this build. Shadow's Embrace there with the improvisation, of course, as well as the Panic Strike. Lipion as well is going to be playing the Fire Line Elementalist Dagger build with, of course, Fiery Greatsword, and then Texby is going to be playing Fire as well. So he's going to be doing a lot of burning damage, as well as that Blinding Ashes trait being very useful as well. We've got the difference over here on the blue team that Alcor is playing the Earth trait line, so a little bit more tanky there. Probably thinking about potentiality of TCG going for a bit of a push onto maybe their home node with a 3-man push from Dan, Helseth, and Red Levin. So that's probably why that's probably being used as well, to give them a little bit more sustain in those team fights. He's not easily going to be taken down as well. But it's going to be interesting to see how this goes, especially Helseth and his team, TCG, coming up against the mirror match, and how they're going to deal with those Mesmer portals that, of course, we know Frostball is also very, very famous for. Both of them, actually. Now, Helseth becoming very much more team-orientated nowadays than he used to be back in the day, with his portal plays. His medic plays, I like to call them sometimes as well. We see the Ellies popping through those portals. So, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see.
That's become kind of a standard move. So this is a mirror matchup, also in terms of build, except for that one Earth Ellie on the side of Orange Legionnaires, which is the double fire on the side of TCG. So let's see who comes out ahead in this one. On the blue side, it is Orange Legionnaires, and on the red side, it is TCG.
Here we go. We're going to see this potential push that I mentioned before coming out. I'm not sure if it's going to 100% come out from TCG, actually leaving a portal there, Helsef towards, just in the roads actually, and just Helsef and Red Levin going for the stealth move up towards mid. Curve and Alcor unaware of that, so maybe... I mean, Curb's at the back at the moment, so he's probably going to be the one that's going to get bursted. And whether or not they're aware Alcor is actually in that Earth trait line, we'll have to wait and see as they are starting to move forward. They are indeed going to go for Curve here. Helsef gets the Mirror Blade, an initial push onto him. You're going to see Zan getting that cap over on the Henge, so he's going to push mid now on the 1v1 between Texby and also Argineer. Argineer is going to be able to hold this for a while here. Very, very capable engineer, of course. He's going to need a +1 soon, so we are going to need to see a kill coming out from oRNG Legionnaires over on this midpoint. Rotation's good, probably more so for TCG at the moment, with Lipion getting a little bit of focus on him.
But now the cap over on mid comes out. We see the push from Chosen Sin over to the side. Pretty much perfect timing. No real danger of anyone going down in that mid fight. Only Argineer having some troubles against Texby right now. But he's still on point, getting the heal off and can go back onto that point just to keep it neutral. Only thing is Chosen Sin went for the full cap and that might have been a mistake. He needs to rotate out of this or get assistance really quickly because we also have Helseth and Lipion coming in from the side. Choosing the disengage, is out of line of sight. Gets the refuge, needs to dodge the knockback, does not get that. Now trying to move
I actually thought, I'm actually kind of surprised that the Blue team were actually able to sustain this, because Argineer went off. No, the reason I thought that was kind of better for TCG there is because I thought they were going to have the advantage at mid, but I forgot that Alcor is running that Earth trait and we've got a lot more sustainability and support coming out from him on that point, and he can focus more on that than going for the actual damage, of course. So, you know, I mean, that's how they won that point in the end and won that fight. And good decap from Chosen Sin makes the just the point spread a little bit more in their favour. Texby's in a lot of trouble here as he goes into Vapor Form. Low HP, isn't able to get rid of those some conditions as he comes into that as well. Helsef is trying to think about going for the res, but he's going to advance back through towards that mine point now in very low HP, like you say, with the burning and also the bleeding there and the poison just coming off and being very daring, going for the engage onto Frostball there as well as Red Levin in a good position. They need to be very careful, just pull out that stealth just about so he can disengage here, and kind of a distraction tactic there, making them think they were going to go for the advance, and rather than using the portal, they're actually going to go straight over towards mid and just +2 on that fight, kill Curve quickly and potentially grab that. But obviously Alcor coming into tank as well.
But he's immediately disengaging. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that oRNG Legionnaires pushed into that mine node again. I would have guessed they just went to their home node, which is at the present moment still open, by the way. Open for the taking. Chosen maybe looking over to that. He is still in stealth. No, sees Zan going over there. No real point. He can just place him there. Zan out of the fight, and now be an additional member in that team fight and maybe get a quick burst on Helseth, who already has to deal with Frostball.
Yeah, Frostball almost getting him down there. Lord Helseth is going to port back over towards the mine node now. Oh, and that's good movement from TCG, sending Zan back on me over towards that Henge node, calling for the disengage across team wide. They are going to be able to get back over towards that point. Now that enables Big Zan to push mid, possibly to get the decap versus Curve, which is actually going to be pretty good for them. They should be able to get the decap there quite easily. Obviously the LE does have those cooldowns, so it's going to take a bit longer than normal, of course. Helseth comes back into the point here to try and get the focus down onto Frostball potentially. Argineer as well is very low himself, and we are potentially going to see him drop into down, saying no, he's just gone into vamp form and escapes, putting that heal turret just into the side there, getting rid of his conditions, regenerating quite well, and the focus not coming out from TCG enough onto him to put him into the down state. Good job from him. We obviously portal back towards mid. It looks like we're going to see Blue Team just out-rotate TCG here in their own way, but the problem is they still only have the one cap. If they can kill Big Zan here, they can potentially get this Henge node very quickly, but they need to be careful. They've pushed 3 or 4 members over towards Henge, leaving mid only to be contested by 2 people. Is Alcor here? No, it's actually Curve and Argineer who are staying.
Argineer, of course, also able to sustain to a certain degree, but honestly, when the focus was on him up until now, he seemed to be fairly vulnerable to any kind of real burst attack. And we might see that quite soon after. Pretty much the target of choice, and I think a good one is that. They got the decap over on Henge and are about to get the cap. No, we still have Texby on that point. This is going to move over into an Elementalist 1v1. Now people come in from the side. Now it's going in an all-out team fight. Texby already disengaging. Bit scared.
I mean, really, TCG could have just pushed more people over towards mid and it just sustained and maybe even lost Zan, which is sometimes what they might have actually usually done, but they've not. They've actually gone over to defend Zan here and actually keep this point contested. But we are going to see Helsef staying over towards mid, which might be a mistake here, but he's going to get the port and the blink up away from oRNG and get the decap. Very cheeky from Helsef to get the decap there, but we are going to see oRNG going for the decap, similar move over towards the mine, but that's going to be the home point of TCG, of course. Respawn's coming out, but Zan, and they are going to be able to keep this node over here.
Oh, look at Chosen! Chosen's not going to get the second one. Big Zan with the damage on that, but now we have 2v1 again, and that could be the quick kill. While Curve is still being chased on mid, TCG needs to rotate back. Otherwise, we have Big Zan in that, as you mentioned, good old, well, basically, just leave him to die on a point roll. But that's not good. Yeah, it is actually gonna. Now we see the +1 coming out. Helsef now deciding to also have a look at that. Still the double cap for TCG. They're looking good. Can maybe oRNG get the quick kill on Texby and take that to their advantage and then move over to that midpoint?
They want to still focus on Zan here, really, if anyone, because he would be good. Well, he was quite low. Now he's actually been able to regenerate quite highly. He's got no real defensive cooldown, so that's someone they could have actually gone for. But TCG are actually pushing them out now, and Blue Team are going to be. They're going to do the good thing, and they're going to move back out here and live to fight another day. And actually, Frostball's going to try and get some burst, quick burst onto Red 11. He uses withdraw and stealths back up towards the midpoint there. Good job from him in terms of his own survival, as we see Texby just sustaining over on the midpoint in a 1v2 situation, but they're actually moving back across the point to try and take out Red 11 here, who's just poking around over on the mid node as well, as we see Helsef and the rest of the team members of TCG. 4 men over here at the moment, and Blue Team are possibly going to lose the mine cap as well, as we see Red 11 currently going for the decap over on that point. So good, again, you know, TCG rotating quite well on this point. We have seen a portal coming out as well over onto this node. Helsef and the family are back on point, and we are going to see Engineer drop very low, going into Vapor Form there as he tries to get away from the node, goes into downstate. And we can see the res coming out from Curve. Has he got any cooldowns to knock back? No updraft coming out, and at the moment, Chosen Sin as well, almost being punished. Burning's hit on him. He's very close to going down. Yeah, he's probably going to be taken out in the cleave here. Goes into Vapor Form. Only vulnerability, so he might be okay, actually, but needs to port away. That's his only defensive capability. He has got Shadow Refuge as well.
But now they're in a brilliant position to just move over to that mine. If Alcor gets into the 1v1 against Texby, Argineer's pushing over to... yeah, mid, not mine. Apologies. Texby, yeah, he's going to be in a 1v1, cap that. Argineer picking up the decap at least, and already Blue Team pulling out. Only issue, they lost Curve thus far. Chosen with the Ninja Medic rest going on, trying to...
Helsef is... Oh look, it's just Chosen's just taking out Helsef as the rest of the team engages forward. We're going to see Shadow Refuge coming out from Red 11. Look at his rezzing, man. Red 11 is so good at his reses in stealth. Oh my god, counter Shadow Refuge comes out. Helsef drops a portal. We have seen the stealth of Curve and Chosen Sin here. They have seen Helsef. He's only just ported now. Are they going to be able to get him out? He comes back out, does port away, and gets the distortion after he does port, of course, as well, and gets another stealth. He's still got that port as well in terms of survival if he does need to move back out, but now can get the decap as he sneaks past, although Argineer is very aware of this, pulls out that Blurred Frenzy to defend against any engage from Argineer there. Still 1v1 over on this mine node with Red 11 coming in for the +1.
Yeah, they should be aware that this +1 is happening, which might also be the reason why they're really aggressively pushing over. Oh, but the portal might get them in the end. Portal coming out, Helsef almost down. He needs to be careful. Argineer will be on that point fast enough to at least defend the first advance.
Mo comes out into Argineer though, that pushes him right off node. Helsef ain't got to worry about his HP whatsoever as he can push, and Red 11 just comes in from the side out of nowhere, and he's able to... Oh, nice! A nice regeneration from Alcor. Saves the day for Argineer, but will he escape? Vapor Form comes out as well as TCG. Texby comes in for the kill. We're going to see that healing turret blasted, conditions removed, and HP is going to be regenerated with that jump shot as well. Good job from him as Alcor comes in for the regeneration of himself, just tanking 2 or 3 bodies there. Good job from Alcor. Nice survival. Teamwork is good on both sides of the map at the moment. On TCG, just out rotating Orange Legionnaires at the moment to a degree as well, as winning some of these skirmishes. Not many kills coming across the map though. Good res utility from both as well.
Oh yeah, the saves, the disengage are really mostly on point, but TCG...
Oh, this is big! Look over on the henge. We've actually seen Big Zan taken out here. Blue team Chosen Sin can push over towards mid as soon as Zan is dead. He can push over there, and they can actually do a push over towards mine.
Engineer could have an essential role here. If he gets the decap against Texby there, that could be a real comeback opportunity. Already problems holding that cap over on mid. Red Levin is the only one on point. Goes into stealth. We have the decap. Someone needs to be aware of Red Levin. He might very well pop over to that henge node and get the decap. Lipion trying to save himself. And now he's actually in that cleave. Didn't get too much, and we see Lipion saving himself. Red Levin still a potential target to just go over to the side node. Lipion going down. That's a follow-up kill. We see Big Zan now.
There you go. Look at that. And that's what we see. That's the classic move. He went down for the stealth res. He popped, you know, obviously from that minor trait. As soon as you go down for the res, you stealth up. So the Ellie can then vapor form away. And, you know, he's gone out of line of sight. Unfortunately, he wasn't stealthed for the amount of time. So they did actually see where he was going. Still got the rest, though. It was enough because he was repositioned and they had to focus their cleave elsewhere. And they probably didn't have the cooldown. So good rest from Red 11 once again, proving that he's very effective in those situations. Not just in terms of his offense, but look at TCG. This is classic TCG movement. Control of the map, pushing on a third node of 3 members against 1. And over on the mine, this is just a distraction at the moment. They're just trying to sustain. Helsef unfortunately caught out, not able to portal out there. But we are going to see Tex be able to hold this point as it is. And they're actually going to withdraw completely from mid because blue team Orange Legionnaires have moved over into that position. They just need to keep the 1 cap. They've won the game at the moment as it stands with the 2 nodes coming into their favor. Orange Legionnaires actually doing a pretty good job.
It's actually Loganaires, I think.
Loganaires.
Yeah.
Is it? They should definitely say Orange Legionnaires. That
would be cool as well. So first one goes over to the TCG team. Similar matchup, but apparently still a bit outmatched. I'd say, honestly, TCG very often in a better position in the outnumbered situations. They were just able to play around it better. Argineer very often just a target for the taking, I feel. Also very often 1v1s with the Elementalists. Or at least 2 times, which I'm gonna say is very often now. Which he didn't fare too well in.
I mean, there was a few questionable... I mean, I think the problem... But it's not really a problem. I mean, I think it's just a, you know, playing together thing where, you know, the blue team, the orange guys, I like how you've got the L in brackets there.
I need to distinguish them somehow from orange logos.
Of course. There was just a few times maybe when their movement was just a bit delayed. You know, it was just a bit slow. Like some of their portal plays, some of their movement didn't. Like Frostball, for example, when he's playing, normally I'm focused on him a lot because his plays are very influential in the game. Whereas in that game, I was more focused on probably Helsef and also Red Levin and their influence on their team and how, you know, that pushed them ahead and their resability, which is now a word. Each week I make a new word. Welcome back to the ESL Go4GW2 Cup. But yeah, I think, you know, some of their movement was just a bit delayed. I think they're going to do better on this map actually as well. But yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. I think it was quite a strong performance going up against the WTS guys of TCG, of course, as well. Not having many opportunities to go up against this team, of course, and playing their own mirror match comp. I don't think anything's changed here.
Yeah, as you said, Frostbite, I think, especially with the portals, I think just the movement of TCG kind of destroyed the idea of a couple of portal plays they might have had originally planned.
Yeah, because they know how they can. I mean, to a degree, you know, I mean, they know how they're going to play that. I mean, Helsef can kind of predict, but also so can Frostball. But I think they were just ahead, just by a notch or two, just on their movement. I mean, they left people to distract as well, and maybe blue team. I don't know if they overcommitted a couple of times, maybe once or twice, but you only need to do that once for TCG to punish you so they can take the lead quite effectively. And whenever that happens, you know, that's normally commanded quite well. And we are just waiting for these guys to ready up. I'm just going to put it back in map chat as well.
Yeah. make sure that they know that they can go when they want to. Let's see how the ready-up's going. Oh, this time around, actually, TCG is behind in the ready-ups. Only one missing from Curve Alley. He can get there first and gets the full 5 ready-ups before TCG even puts one on the board. That is the first really win that means nothing. But still, let's point it out. Let's point it out.
Oh, dearie me. Dearie me indeed. So, yeah, I mean, who am I thinking about over here? Argineer was doing a really good job on defending the mine node, actually. And the resin coming out from Chosen Sin is actually, you know, I mean, we've always thought of him as very offensive, but his resin capability in this game is probably, like last game, was probably some of it wasn't there wasn't a massive amount of resin he had to do, but when he had to help and assist in that situation, he was doing a good job. Not something I normally think of when I actually talk about Chosen Sin, to be fair. Alcor did a great job at helping Argineers survive over towards between mine and mid as well. Yep. So there's some great teamwork coming out from these guys, and I really look forward in the future to seeing them being, you know, a solid team together, actually.
Honestly, I like Argineer's kiting a bit more when he doesn't have to worry about the point. Like on the point with the popping off point and back on point to keep it neutral, I'd say could be a bit of improvement. But if he has just a map to roam, we saw a couple of moments where TCG just couldn't get a handle on him.
Yeah, we are going to start this game and see if the handle can be kept.
Okay. Why not? Why not? Okay,
why not,
second match coming up. Currently one win for TCG. Orange logo now with the chance to equal it up on Legacy of the Fourfire. On Orange Logonaires, I mean. They are on the blue side and TCG on the red.
Looks like a forceful blue team, and not even red, as we see actually a non-typical movement coming out from TCG. They're doing the opposite thing, actually. They've actually gone all the way to mid, stealthing up and waiting for the stealth of the...
This could be very interesting. This was just a random cluster bomb that catches the Venom onto Chosen, but also gives them the opportunity. Quick lockdown of Levin. He tries to make it out alive. Support from Lipian coming in from the side. He's in that refuge and now back in stealth and should be safe, but that must have scared him quite a bit.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was actually thought it was going to benefit TCG, but obviously he broke out of combat, and they were very close together, so they could just get the instant burst off pretty well. But obviously Red Levin able to maybe take out Chosen here, as he can just AoE cleave down on that Shadow Refuge, but Frostball comes in for the save on Red Levin, but Red Levin's still pushing over towards Big Zan, and no one from Blue Team is going to assist. They think Curve can actually hold this point, and Curve obviously in a 1v2 situation is very strong, but he's able to get away. He's got a lot of potential to get away.
We have a complete switch going on. The portal from TCG over to the mid, the portal from Orange Logonaires over to that side. Now the Quarry trying to get the quick kill on Texp. Not successful yet, don't really get the lockdown. Vamproom proc, will he make it into that? They need a quick burst. He's safe in the base, but now they can just they're in a good position to contest that against the pain train. They are just open for the taking, trying to refuge up. We don't see any engage yet. Now we have Lipion. Now we have Lipion back in the game, so that might actually become a team fight here.
Yeah, Curve actually just gets the AoE cleave on that stealth. Helsef is running for his life, actually, at the moment. He's stealthed, has moved away. They can reposition properly over onto mid, actually, thinking about the +1. But Chosen Sin knows that's going to happen. He can just jump on Helsef here and probably take him out. Needs to be very careful as he does come into the point. We're going to be Blurred Frenzied and get out of there in the vamp form. Big Zan's trying to support him with his lockdown potential, and also that healing turret. Helsef gets the stealth off and can move out of position, possibly be even more offensive than he was before. But Chosen Sin gets this stealth off. Shadow Refuge still up as well, but he moves back in for the cleave damage onto Helsef as well. And also we are going to see Big Zan coming in. Poison dropped on the corpse, and we are probably going to see that Lord Helsef will be taken out here. Zan not able to do a massive amount extra, and red team members are trying to keep the map sustained, so they aren't able to potentially come and get the res. Potential try there comes out from Levin. But too much cleave. Good job from the blue team there.
They almost got him, and now they're pushing over with Zan towards that waterfall. Try and get the first kill directly. You got the mower actually, no burst so far. Chosen rather had the idea of quickly going onto that waterfall, but they still might get the follow-up. Good burst coming in. Levin from the side for the instant medic res, maybe. Oh, we're gonna see a refuge there for the support. Not really helping out that much. Maybe just a bit of CC on the enemies and the counter pressure on Chosen, which would now be a perfect opportunity.
Because Sam's such a beast, literally. I mean, I know he's playing Char, but Jesus, this man. He's in 200 HP, he gets his health regenerated a tiny bit. He survived a hell of a lot longer than I thought he was going to. Texby, yeah, sorry, he is indeed playing engineer now, and he's playing a Char engineer as well. This is quite interesting. So over on this waterfall node, we have seen potential survival coming out from TCG. Lockdown onto the node as Zan is on point, trying to tank some of this damage and cleave that's coming out from the blue team. Chosen Sin just able to get out of there as Red Levin tries to get his focus up. Alcor does start to approach to give Chosen Sin some regeneration so he can survive, but this fight is very sustained over here. Something needs to happen. Portal comes out from TCG as they move back over towards mid. A good position secretly there as Curve is not aware of this positioning. As they move into Curve, they get able to actually lock him down with a nice panic strike there as well, as Curve is very much under pressure, drops in with the armor of Earth, able to get on point. But yeah, again, Helsef is left behind and the advantage goes towards the blue team. They really take advantage of that, actually.
Yeah, Hellsmith was just really open there because they went for the quick burst, and the reaction from oRNG Legionnaires was just on point, being able to be in a position there to take out Hellsmith with that aggression. And that now completely alleviated the pressure and put them into a brilliant position to sustain this double cap and one neutral. Lipion might be the follow-up kill, and then they can completely collapse onto that midpoint while still sustaining the triple cap.
I mean, I'm not massively sure about this 2NG move. We're gonna have to see for later, but they're getting free caps at the moment. I mean, this is pretty crazy. I mean, when do you see that happening against the full normal TCG lineup? They are currently being free capped. These are the guys who are favored probably as the team to win the WCS in Cologne. This is quite crazy. I mean, Texby is playing on engineer, so we've got a different comp coming out and maybe a couple of different alterations to builds, but still, I'm not sure this is something you should be doing against a team that are this effective. I mean, they're doing a fantastic job at the moment, but they're trying to counter in their own way. Over on the waterfall now, we've got Big San who's doing a good job at distracting these two guys, Frostball and also Curve, and they know that this is what he's doing so that TCG can get some kind of advantage.
Very important stomp here. We see, this stomp is not going to happen. Red Levin again with the refuge coming on to Texby there. Lipion with the lightning in there. Didn't get the CC off, but the stealth was enough, and we have Texby back in the game on his Char. Is he going to get the kill after all? Chosen Sin is on, and block ability is going to run out now. First dodge, and we get the last hit off Chosen for the immediate stomp. Interrupt comes out from Lipion. He's trying to go for the rest. Frostball for the damage as well. Moa coming out. Is he continuing to res? He is trying, but he's not really succeeding. No defensive abilities. Can't pull the earth armor there while he is a Moa. And now we have the Texby pretty much down and out for it on the waterfall as well. Big Zan in trouble. And Red Levin, yeah, he's going to get him. He's going to get him. Curve Ellie, he needs to res on the other side. Are they going to go for the kill or for the res? It looks very much like the kill. And that they're actually going to move out of that waterfall. I don't see why Frostball is still hanging around here.
He's just trying to keep the point in contention. I mean, maybe he feels as if he can't get away. He's still got the portal as well, so he can use that in an emergency. Yeah. There we go. He's going to go back to mid and just keep that node. But they've extended their lead so strongly. We've only seen the contention coming out now, and a cap from TCG. But he's going to use that portal with Alcor? No. I think if Alcor had just got on the node, maybe they would have thought about it, but they've got mid. They don't. It's easier for them to defend this at the moment. They can stretch across the point. They've got Argineer there. They've got Curve. We can see Slick Shoes coming out as well as look at that cleave coming out from Blue. That's immense damage coming out to Lipion. He's going to actually Vapor Form away here in the stealth. Look, Red Levin's done it again. He's just dropped down for the stealth. He's able to get out Lipion and get the res. And they know that's going to happen, but you really can't counter that to a degree. It's so difficult to try and find out where they are because they're both stealthed, and if they line of sight and they can't see you, they know what's going on.
Yeah, and sadly not quite aware. Either they weren't aware of what went on with the respawn and trying to get the side notes, or they maybe just consciously decided to go for the kill. I mean, it looked good, but after the rest from Levin, which you described beautifully just there, why it's so nice to see that. And a very, very safe and simple solution to that. Now,
But they've been able to come off that waterfall cap actually and grab that quarry as well, and now pushing mid. Look at TCG being very offensive now, and I'm not sure Blue have got an answer to this because Chosen Sin is very low himself. Although Big Zan and Red Levin caught in some damage there as well. Need to be very careful that they don't overcommit too much because I think they could be punished for this. But also I think there needs to be some pressure. Arjanier was in a bit of trouble there, but he's actually doing okay versus Zan over on that waterfall point. Trying to get that decap. That's going to be a contest for the future for sure. Red Levin and also Frostball moving over towards the waterfall to +1 with each other. And we're going to see probably Red Levin coming for the damage on Frostball, if anything.
Yeah, I think Frostball, however, yeah, can get the turnaround, gets a quick knockback. We have a bit of the decap, but now TCG is moving on. We need a portal somewhere. We have the portal down. I think they need to get out now as they can. Frostball moving out again. Already. Now they can push over to Quarry. Yeah, they can probably just lock down Lipion and try and get the decap even before he gets there. But the Fiery Greatsword is going to make it difficult. Do we have the answer portal? There we go.
But look at that, though. Look who's at mid for Blue. Alcor, Curve, and Arjanier, like the most free sustained characters, and they're able to kill Helseth. Because they came through that portal, they were ready for that, and Alcor's even going to move for the support. This is a great movement from the blue team. That push from Frostball and also Chosen Sin over towards the quarry was very good, but the thing is, Lipion is very good at surviving. Although he's dropped into Vapor Form, he's going to lose the cap here, and they should be able to get this kill, well, at least the node in this situation, as they move over for the Mirror Blade comes out from Frostball, as well as also that damage on the third skill. I just forgot the name there, sorry for a second. But they should have the advantage here, but TCG are holding that line between mid and quarry at the moment. Alcor's coming in for support as well, and Frostball needs to get away with that fiery greatsword.
This is so expensive. Honestly,
yeah.
oRNG Loganairs doesn't necessarily need to commit to it. They could move on. They could leave them kind of rampaging in mid, maybe leave Arjanier and an Elementalist there, and just send either Chosen or Frostball over to that waterfall. I doubt that somebody's going to have the focus of mind right now to check up on that. Chosen Sin now is invisible, would have the perfect opportunity, but they have the double cap, and apparently they feel secure enough to contest that. And we have the 350 point mark first for oRNG Loganairs, so Frostball already on that gate. He's going to start with the gate, drop down the portal, and this could be the move towards the end. They need to be very quick, and they are. This is almost already a secure kill.
I mean, but CCG's movement is very slow. I mean, there's 4 members here. Surely the Lord is down. Yeah. There's no answer to this from TCG. I mean, other than going for their own, they're nowhere near the end. They need to defend. They're not able to get on the point either. The CMO coming out, we see all the damage. This is going to be a 1-1. Really good game from the blue team of the oRNG Loganairs.
Now I also get why they stayed in mid and didn't move on over to waterfall. Preparation for the portal. I did not watch the score on that.
Well, the whole movement, I mean, whether or not it was planned, it looked very good. I mean, whether or not that was
very
planned,
coordinated.
We can say that. It worked well. I mean, they moved from mid, in that movement, they moved out of Waterfall, which they were losing, and doing something which TCG do, you know, in a situation where they feel like they're losing, they actually turn it into a positive, and their movement around the map kind of encourages that, and they push onto a point, normally outnumbering, killing that member and getting that cap, and that's how they come back into the game. But in that case, you know, oRNG Loganairs kind of did it themselves. They moved from waterfall to mid via portal, then they sent the 2 DPS, their Panic Strike team, over towards the quarry, of course, and so the Pain Train team, Panic Strike team, is that a thing?
Not really. Maybe with a double thief.
Sounded really good.
double thief can be called Panic Strike team.
Yeah, we could definitely. Yes, there's the name for that.
I think there can be a better one. We'll think about that afterwards.
We'll work it. PS team. And they almost got that kill on Lipion. Lipion had to move towards mid, and TCG held quite well. But during that mid-fight kind of kerfuffle, I will say, Frostball was able to get out of there and use the portal, and you know, TCG's response to that wasn't just slow. To be honest, it's pretty slow.
I mean, I also think that TCG's reaction to the quick push of the pain train was pretty good, just sending Red Levin over there, which then makes the life of the pain train really difficult. They're fine in a 2v1, can quickly clean that up, and we've got all the tanky members in mid. But as soon as one DPS person pushes over to that pain train engage, then real danger. And real danger of being sniped off. The alley is not going to do anything, but the alley in combination with the damage of Levin, that's dangerous.
So we are on Kylo.
Yes, we are.
How is Kylo for these teams? We do not know yet.
Well, it's still a mirror matchup, so it's basically down to playstyle.
Okay, so we've got Texby going back onto Ellie, correct? Yes. I mean, he did change into engineer, so that's one thing on that last map to consider.
Now
obviously,
back on the alley.
Yeah, I mean, he's not bringing out as as many conditions and the blinding, and also the sustain for his team in those situations as much, probably. I mean, he can 1v1 very well on node. He can be good and useful in the team fights, as well as these kind of single pushes that he can do, and potentially in a similar role to maybe what Fantaram would do, or Lipion, of course. As they do have 2 LEs, obviously. But yeah, this is what excites me about WTS. We have 3 different team comps coming from 2 from EU, no Mesmer on an orange logo. We've got Mesmer on TCG. We've got 2 LEs on Ebjord, similar to TCG, but no Mesmer. They've got a Necro. It's just like, what is going to be the main thing which actually puts these teams ahead? And Mesmer feels like it's going to be one of those things.
What is China playing again?
They're playing a Necro-ish. We've got suspicions that that's going to change.
Oh, okay.
But
well, okay.
as it is,
as always, a bit difficult getting the information from China, but we will try. We've got some information. But...
Beef Mesmer, DPS Guardian, Power Necro.
And that's again a bit of a different team. Like it's not like we have just one team composition that is the team composition. I mean, right now we have a mirror matchup, which seems to be a pretty good comp to go with. But then Orange Logo playing something completely different.
One bunker guardian. We got one bunker guardian in the whole thing as well. There's just so many differences. Oh, so many differences.
Loving it.
Yeah, it's great.
Would be boring if it was all this lineup.
I mean, we used to have very similar in the CELE days. It would be pretty similar. It'd just be who's better at the rotations, who's better in team fights, and skill. Just literally down to that. This obviously skill is still involved. Yeah,
which is also just the case now. It is a mirror matchup again with Texby being back on the alley, and we're on Kylo on the deciding match in the semi-final between Orange Logonius and TCG.
Going to make our lives difficult. See a portal left by blue team as they push towards that windmill in a 3-man push, very similar to how TCG pushed with their 3 members in that Engineer, Mesmer and Thief team. I see Alcor sustaining mid with Curve. That's a good idea now, as they can sustain that point for quite a while, and TCG won't be able to get their burst off very quickly, and they will get the pickup kill easily onto TCG. Texby there, no help comes out for him at all, unfortunately, and that portal is going to enable them to move onto mid very quickly and maybe get the pickup kill on Helsef, who's on the side.
Honestly, I think they could have done that almost as quickly without the portal. There's not too much distance between these points. They just need to port up, and they are able to. Now we see moving over to mid. We saw actually the first engage of Helsef was completely negated with CC, so he basically didn't do anything for the first quick kill. But now they need to be aware of the respawn. Texby, well, they can maybe ignore that if they get the decap over there. Will they also contest windmill or try and push over and corner them in between these points? Sandwich them. Corner is in a corner, not between 2 things.
Yeah, potentially. I mean, now over on mid, actually, Alcor is very low. He does get the port over and the Vapor Form over towards Argineer. That's perfect. These guys are really supporting each other fantastically in the moment. Red Levin's not able to push, but he is going to go down here as Helsef comes in for the sandwich combo, which is going to be the damage between him and Red Levin comes out onto him. He's going to Vapor Form again, Alcor, as he gets the support from Chosen Sin here, and Argineer, I don't think it was stealthed. But, you know, the extra support that comes in is going to be able to bring him back up. Frostball's going to cap the node, and we're going to have this 1v1 between Curve and Texby over on the windmill. That means that slowly TCG have taken the lead here, as they were a bit late to get back to the windmill to get that cap.
Yeah, but the pickup of Levin could be a really good one. Levin, of course, one of the prime res helpers, and he's also getting resed by the one he reses fairly often. Both are going to be back alive. No kills on the side yet. Mid, very secure right now. TCG go for the outer points. No, there we see the re-engage. Lipion and Helseth coming in from the side. Immediate disengage from Elka. That is all it takes to chase Elka off the point, apparently. And now they kind of caught oRNG completely out of position. Oh yeah, he's down.
I don't like to cut oRNG out, but you're right. I mean, now we can see, of course, TCG Texby can disengage. We can see Curve moving over towards mid now. Portal disappears. Blue aren't able to take advantage very quickly. TCG took the lead just with that one node in their favor.
Is Chosen gonna go for it? We see the refuge, we see the res, and oRNG is back alive. Honestly, in the current meta, you can almost not leave people to bleed.
You can't. You really can't, especially when the Thieves are around and you've not got eyes on him. That's a big mistake from TCG. He just needs to survive here, and he can easily try and contest that point, but Texby's going in for the chase now as well, didn't immobilize on him, and now that would be 1v1 over on the mansion. Helseth's moved to mid, and in that situation, Lipion has now gone into the down state. We've seen Shadow Refuge coming out. Is he going to res here? No, Vaporform in stealth to the corner. They're not able to pick it up because Red Levin's in a really bad situation, although he's stealthed. No one's seeing it, but Helseth's leading them to him. I don't think he was in stealth there. He did actually lead them to the body, I do believe, but I'm not sure. He might have been in stealth himself, and they did get the rest, and that's all that matters really in the end. Big Zan now 1v1 over on the windmill versus Curve, but Helseth comes in with the Mirror Blade, goes into Vapor Form, and we're going to see a ton of damage coming out from Helseth, which really forces Curve to leave node, and he's going to be sandwiched between Lipion, Red Levin, Helseth, and Zan, but they need to push over towards the mansion, the blue team, which is exactly what they've done. Chosen Sim +1ing versus Texby here with oRNG. They need to get this kill on Texby fast. But I think Texby's actually got a few cooldowns left up his sleeve. Oh no, he doesn't. If he gets taken out here, this is actually going to be an okay situation for Blue, especially losing their team member over towards that windmill node. But they're moving back in force. Look, Texby's leading them towards them. That's brilliant stuff. Portal as well.
Oh, Chosen Sin getting taken out by Red Levin jumps in on the side, but we get the cap on the mansion. You might actually hear a little bit of background noise here. My neighbor apparently decides to test his speaker system right now. I hope that's not too distracting.
I didn't hear that.
We have the decap of the mansion, and where is the blue team going to move now? oRNG.
He needs to leave it.
Again, somewhere where he could be picked off potentially.
No, he's going to stay to poke. He's just going to put, look, there you go, look, sticks on node, get a couple of decaps, keeps Red Levin and also Lipion there as well, which enables blue team to either get a kill at mid or push towards windmill. But TCG have got control. They're being patient. They've put Big Zan in between the mid and also windmill point as well as Texby. They can move quickly to where they need to respond to. But look, blue team have pushed already over towards mansion, being a bit quicker, but I think TCG are going to match this up pretty fast themselves. And we are going to see Red Levin bringing out that Shadow Refuge, which Helseth is going to drop into as well. But we actually can see the Moa coming out onto oRNG, which is going to be a big move. Vaporform comes out, of course, as the damage comes out. But look at the portal. Is he going to get out?
Nice.
He does. Survivability comes out. Can they push towards windmill very heavily now? That's what oRNG is going to do.
Pick off Big Zan here. Frostball already on the chase. He's not going to get the quick kill on his own. Chosen is all the way behind there. Curve Ellie maybe trying to prepare the CC. We see the block coming out. After that, immobilize and the knockdown. We have the slick shoes from him, I think. But now maybe the rest from Red Levin again. We see the first stealth for the escape, and that's already pretty good move to get him out there alive. Double cap coming out for TCG.
This is great over here on the windmill. Zan was vapor formed out. He was pretty much gone. And they've turned this into their favor because Texby did a great move. He rotated on point, enabling Big Zan to get out there. Unfortunately, Ian does get taken out, and I did think they were going to get the
Zan trying to commit as well as Levin, and they get him back up.
Nice resing capability from TCG there. They're doing so great with their reses, but I think blue team are doing just as equally as well. And they're able to really bounce off this and get the kill onto Chosen Sin. And it all started with Zan surviving that decap over on the windmill with the combination of Levin to bring him into stealth and Texby jumping on node. And their teamwork is immense on defending that point. We are going to see Argineer 1v1 versus Lipion over on the mansion now. Argineer might be able to get the decap actually. He's gotten down to half HP. He can regenerate quite quickly. 11, I saw his health dropping quite far. Whereabouts is he at the moment? He's over on mid as Frostball is defending in a 1v1 situation. See back up from Helseth. Look at him. He's coming in now. Drops a Berserker. Portal out.
Portal out. And will they portal out to commit to a different point? No, we see Alco on the point. Just a second too slow, but can't.
Frostball's moving back.
Neutral.
He moved back through the portal just as Alcor comes in. And this is the thing about Blue Team. Their communications feels very strong as well. They move on to the points like Alcor can move back in time or in the future to where Frostball is going to be. I'm talking about in terms of time warp, in terms of the portal there, of course. And so they're able to survive and sustain, but not pick up the extra cap points, which is what they really need to do as TCG starts to pick up a bit of a lead here. And now we've got Argineer going 1v1 versus Big Zan, and that's going to take a while to get the decap.
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure I like that matchup. I mean, he's keeping Zan away, but he's also keeping himself away, so that's a 1-for-1 trade almost. Chosen might now get +1 on attack speed. He's already down to half HP. Quick engage. Oh, we see the knockback. That is not quite working. Pushes him into there. Oh, and the burning is going to almost take him out before he can make the escape, right? The lightning. But we do have the gap closer, of course, with that shadow shot. Oh, misses the shadow shot there. Didn't get it. He makes the escape, but they do get the cap.
Oh, they need to be careful, Elsef, and also Red Levin moving on to Curve here. Are they going to answer with some defense, or are they going to push? They're going to push Mansion. Curve's just going to be distraction tactic here, and they're going to try and get the kill on Zan very quickly and also try and get the mid cap, but they're in an awkward situation, Blue Team, at the moment. They're being pressured all over the place. They need to get something out of Mansion. They need to get it now. Zan needs to die, otherwise they're going to lose out in this situation. We're going to see Lipion in position. Oh, portal to mid there. Lipion's going to still contest over on the mansion as well in a 1v1. Chosen Sea's going to come +1 to try and get the kill so they can get the cap, but whole map is contested at the moment. 5 minutes left. TCG able to get the cap over on the windmill.
They need to be quick. They don't actually...
Oh, XP
on the roof is almost going to go down. That might actually be falling damage here on the side. Oh no, Chosen's going to get the falling damage. Ports back up. Can't get a grasp on Texby. Will he be able to port to him? Where is he actually? Oh, he moved all the way over to that windmill, if I saw that correctly. Do we still have 1v1 Argineer in these 1v1s as always, this time again against an Elementalist. That's going to be the cap picked up for him. Red Levin trying to +1 that, but we also have Chosen Sin hanging around, but he's not aware of the engage potential here from Red Levin, of course. Immobilize on... Oh, and that's going to be the decap with the poison coming out immediately afterwards. He went off point to get the good immobilize and maybe a knockback further away from the point already, but was in an even worse position than with Red Levin being there.
They're ahead. TCG, I mean, Blue Team are rotating well, but they just can't keep up with it. As soon as they get the advantage, TCG punish them. They just rotate their players in and off the points in such a great way. Look at Helseth. He's just putting a little bit of pressure mid with that Trev. Unfortunately, not getting the shots right on point at the moment, but you know, it's just a bit of extra pressure. And just as they're coming up to the stairs, they have to walk around that side to actually get up to node now, and it covers people. He's not able to get there quick enough apparently. But the thing is, his presence is not there, and the Mesmer's presence is very important in that situation. Zan's going to have to escape as well. I'm not sure how useful the Trev is actually over on the midpoint at the moment. As we see the extra caps come in from Blue Team, they might be able to get the kill on Zan, unless they can actually support him. Textbeak trying to get support there, and Chosen Sin raging from afar there with the short bow. It's all about mid at the moment, and actually even Argineer's gone to contest Helseth over on that Treb, who spent a lot of time on that actually.
Yeah, I think he could almost leave, and that had almost no effect.
Pretty much. Didn't feel like it did anyway. Maybe we missed something there, but hey ho. Red Team trying to move 2 members back over towards Windmill there. Alcourt pushing 2 people back over to Windmill. Okay, that's interesting as well. Chosen Sin tries to potentially take out Texby over towards the midpoint now. Argineer moving back towards the Treb, and Helseth's got a portal there, so now that puts Argineer out of position. So that's actually pretty good thinking there as well. Helseth moving for the decap on Mansion, and because of that portal, That's clever thinking, that is. Moving back to mid. Portal there as well.
Yeah, now
Have we
they're in
seen the
a
movement?
really good position with the decap over on that mansion. Argineer now in a 1v1 against Hellsouth. That could go Hellsouth's way if he plays it right. But he needs to... Yeah, Argineer now caught... Basically, although the first knockback, that can already be really, really dangerous for him. Lipion
Look at
coming in to
Lipion,
give him a
though.
bit of sustain. And that puts them in a good position. Only 2 minutes, 46 seconds left here. This is not looking good for them. They really need a fast turnaround in order to gain any chance of still winning this.
Yeah, there's no decaps coming out across the board on Windmill. They need to get that point decaps. They need to get some nodes themselves, and TCG are sustaining so well. They're in a position where Texby and also Red Levin and Zan can move back to the Windmill if they should so need. Blue team probably pick up the mansion, but it won't be anytime soon because Lipion's still up, and Texby even moves in as well. Oh, this is not great for the blue team, but they need to sustain it. Pardon me.
Yeah, but if they're only sustaining, they're not really gaining.
They're not getting anything. Yeah,
That-
exactly.
that
Well, yeah,
rhymed.
that does rhyme. It's very true. But Frostball now knows that that's the fact. And they've lost sight of him, so inevitably Red Levin starts to move towards Windmill. It's going to be too late though, as he does get the decap, and Red Levin actually goes back towards mid to peer up there to see if he's there, and actually offer up some extra damage. But the thing is they move towards Windmill, they're not able to sustain mid, although Alcor saves the day in terms of that, but now he's going to be 1v2, and he's going to have to survive that situation. So points contested, but 1 minute 35 seconds to get 150 points is going to be tough. They need to get the 2 cap. If not the 3.
That needs to be something like a 3 cap, yeah. This needs to be very fast. Someone in chat is probably at some point going to say it's mathematically not even possible anymore. We even see the D cap over on that Windmill. As a Thief 1v1, of course, the cap is going to be lost with that because they want to play to the win. But right now, oRNG Logonaires is in a position where they have to play for the cap and for the cap alone. If they want to pull off a 3 cap, it basically needs to be a full-on wipe, but I think we can safely assume that this is already over with only 1 minute to go on the clock.
Yeah, I mean, Zan, perfect there. Chosen was going to end up in a 1v1 situation with Zan, so what happened with Red Levin, sorry. So Zan moved back into the point so that he would definitely get the cap, or at least get the cap points against the Thief, and that's when Alcor moved into the node so they could sustain that. They've still got the extra cap coming in, and maybe if we had more time on the board, we might actually see blue team coming into this game. But, you know, the time is something to always think about in terms of tactics as well. And TCG have been able to sustain the map rather than being so offensive as to win the game quite quickly.
Yeah, and there the trebuchet, I mean, at this point, it doesn't really make a difference anymore, but I think the trebuchet also kind of gave them a bit of leverage because they needed to move for the 3 points, so they were forced to also fight on their midpoint. Basically giving him a target to fire at. But still, trebuchet, well, I think Hellsouth on the map itself might be worth a bit more in most situations. At best, for a couple of shots, if he just respawns or something.
Good games though. For sure, we're still not at the final. That was only the semi-final.
Yeah.
Go for EU 39.
Pretty good game already.
Whew.
oRNG Logonaires, well, ending it on time. So they definitely are kind of a force to be reckoned with here. Didn't manage to pick up the win in the end, but maybe. And now if I had updated the brackets before I started this sentence, I could have actually finished it with maybe the, and now in brackets, kind of A team will be able to beat TCG. They have last week. We'll have to see if they do it again in the finals, because that is the final matchup. TCG facing off against oRNG Logo without the Aeneas.
Indeed. We'll see you soon.
Yeah, we will. Hello guys, and welcome back to the Go4GW2 Cup. We are about to see the finals. Yes, the last match, that wasn't the final, was the semi-finals. And even though there was an oRNG Logo in there, it was oRNG Logonaires, which is kind of the B team. So oRNG Logo is still in the cup. They went past the upper bracket and are now in the finals facing off GE.
Mm-hmm. And will it be the finals?
How's your head?
It's okay.
Still hurt?
It's okay. It's fine.
Brain freeze is
Brain
real.
freeze. The milkshake was too good. Yeah, this could be possibly the final of WTS, of course. But yeah, Moonapie playing today on Elementalist. At the
Still
moment
not
on
the full
Logo.
orange.
You haven't got the full orange, just a couple of slices, just
Yeah.
4 slices. Or segments, or whatever you want to call it, depending on
Segments.
whatever country you're from.
Segments? Really?
I don't know, that's what we call it, I think. I don't really like oranges, but I like orange logo.
We know.
That's okay.
You said that. Yeah, I think we're still waiting for Rom to get back, but I just want to start. Because why not? It gives us a bit of time to go over the build of the people that are in the arena.
Sure.
And maybe just talk complete rubbish afterwards. So let's see. You want to start us off with orange?
Indeed. Syndrome playing DP Marauders with Vamp Rune. Usual build, really. I mean, he's playing Shadow Arts, he's playing the Panic Strike with Improvisation over in the Deadly Arts, of course, getting that extra stealth with Merciful Ambush. Yeah. Stealth is, sorry,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
getting the stealth on res through Merciful Ambush, my bad. And then the extra stealth coming out from this build. So it's going to be pretty nice. In turn, I mean, obviously we're seeing things like the effective stealth resing that we're seeing, the line of sighting, the almost impossible counter to that. Is just, immense cleave and always someone watching out to see where the movements are going to be. There's so many places you can line of sight as a thief. And obviously an Elementalist when you're trying to res. Tage then playing as Bunker Guardian, something we're still seeing him stick with, of course. Altruistic healing, running with that Feel My Wrath utility on the elite, of course.
Oh,
so not going for
Sanctuary.
focus.
That's
And
new.
Sanctuary. Very interesting. Aha. Sanctuary. Okay, we'll think about that in a minute. Moonapie. I'm still thinking. There's ideas.
Okay.
Fire trait line, Dagger, CELE, Elementalist there, playing with the Vampire, of course, with the fiery greatsword. Rom on Coke, playing Ranger with the with the scavenging rune. Man, I loved that rune when it came out, but not really seen it much being played. I mean, he's playing conditions, of course, over on this build, but this is some scalability in terms of his own survival with the CELE amulet, going for skirmishing, wilderness survival, and beast mastery. His traits such as quick draw, so when swapping weapons, the next ranger weapon skill you use will recharge faster. Going for beastly warden, that taunt is actually very strong as well, so when you use your F2 ability on your pet summon, you can get the taunt as well, 2 seconds CC, which is pretty nice. Poison Master, so after swapping pets, your pet's first attack will inflict poison. So not only will you get the taunt, if you activate the skill, your pet will also give you poison as well. So there's some nice condition damage in this build, as well as some survival. Bleeding as well that comes out from this build. Yeah, I mean, I'm liking it.
Loving the chat. Rom plays it. Ranger officially viable again.
Yeah, exactly.
I remember, like, just 2 games ago saying, yeah, Rangers, they've kind of disappeared from the face of the earth. Well, we found one. They came back. And it's an Azura that came back to the face of the earth. How appropriate.
He does like Ranger, doesn't he? He's been playing it.
Yeah.
He played it quite at random times, and I think today is one of those moments, of course. Unfortunate. I mean, I would have loved to have seen the full lineup of both teams facing off. As I'm not going to be here for next week's Go4, so this is probably the last time I'm actually going to see them play together, against each other.
And me probably either.
Yeah, that's true.
I need to figure out something for
Yeah, you have to wait and see, guys, what happens, but I'm sure someone will be casting it at some point. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. So not a bad build. He's running there with the Water Spirit at the moment, as it is, and Protect Me Shout. Then he's going for the Viper's Nest Trap and the Spike Trap. So Trap Ranger with the obvious Shout there as well to get that regen swiftness and also the protection. So Pretty good. I mean, it's got sustain, it's got damage. You've got the strength of the pack elite as well. That is the elite shout, which is pretty useful. 48-second cooldown though. I mean, it's gonna be interesting how he rotates with this build. Might be able to 1v1 quite effectively, but versus Ellie, that's gonna be a tough one, especially as there's two. So less tech speeds on Ellie still. Yeah, he is still on Ellie. So waiting for the last member there. So apologies while I was just kind of thinking about that there, because we haven't really seen Ranger much played recently.
Oh.
I think my Ranger knowledge has gone down a bit.
Look at what we have here. It's Frey.
Uh-oh. I knew it was Necro. Oh, God.
No. Oh, wait.
No.
Can you switch right now?
What are you doing? No.
No, you can't switch anymore. You can't switch utilities. Like, didn't we have that you suddenly could switch to staff?
It came in, then it went out, then it came in randomly for a day.
So...
And then it came out again.
Minion answer. Cool.
Do we need to talk about it?
Do
Soldiers with pack. Was this the thing that Nos played the last?
I'm not sure.
Go4
I know he played it once.
Yeah, I played it last Go4 where they almost lost.
Yeah,
on
where
the
they
Fire.
almost lost. I just wanted to say that.
Okay. So Minion Mancer build, of course. We know this is pretty tanky, taking conditions away from your allies as well. It's also going for Death Perception over in the Soul Reaping lines to get some nice damage out with the extra crit chance while he's in Death Shroud, of course. So that blast will obviously do some nice damage. It's going to be interesting. I'll have to wait and see. I mean, he's going to be extremely tanky. They've got sustain, still the sustain of having maybe like a second elementalist, some Condi removal in there. Just trying to think of this and why they're running this very interesting comp. They've still got Syndrilier and Tage on the original builds, as well as Minapai, who's playing obviously what Denshi would be. But yeah,
do they just not want to give TCG any opportunity to practice against the full?
It could have just been a big weekend as well, you know. Frey just doesn't want to do much, so he's playing Minion Mancer.
Well, minions, do my work for me. I command you.
Indeed.
Yeah. So normally we like to emphasize that this is basically a forecast of what the WTS can be. But yeah, no. Well, oRNG might be good for a surprise here or there, but this is a bit drastic.
It does feel like they're probably gonna play something different in the second two games, depending on how this works.
Maybe this is kind of a warm up. Look at what we can do. And afterwards, it's no, wait, there's still money on the line. Let's do this, guys.
Yeah, that's the thing. Boys. I mean, we always forget. You know, we haven't mentioned in the last couple of weeks maybe that in fact there is money available.
Yeah.
For people to get. So still, you know, I mean, I know WCS obviously is like a big deal.
I just read in chat, we're not laughing about the use of Necros, we're laughing about the use of a Minion Master Necro.
Yeah, God, no.
That's two different things. Signet Necro?
Completely.
Fine. Might still have a couple of problems, but that's up for a different discussion. Minion Master might also work to some extent, but yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, like we were talking about before, Minion Mancer has some sustain in terms of, you know, helping the team to a degree in terms of taking away conditions and whatnot. But they'll just try and avoid it, if anything. And when he's not got his minions, he's not as effective. He's still only got 3 technically with the end in the summon flesh one, which I kind of count as a minion, but you know, obviously it is a minion, but this is mainly his escape mechanic.
Now let's see how all of this works out as we go into the first match of today's finals. TCG on the red side versus oRNG logo on the blue side.
The TCG, as I was talking about before, have gone for their typical kind of stealth 3-man move push onto far, which is what they do on, you know, all maps to a degree. Not every time though, so it's very dependent on how their team is moving. And oRNG logo normally send their elementalists over towards mid, but we've seen the split of Helseth and also Red Levin moving towards the midpoint, which means the blue team could do that as well. Red Levin going back over towards that henge node. Helseth trying to get that mirror blade and damage off on Syndrilier, push him away from the point as Ramon Koga actually just starts to try and engage Helseth as well. Conditions are obviously going to be painful for Helseth in this situation, so he needs to be careful. Does stealth away as well, goes towards Lipion, who's going to be able to release him with those conditions probably, but does get caught out by Syndrome there.
We actually we didn't mention that Helseth has power lock and Mantra of Recovery. So
indeed,
he's switching around some stuff as well. We didn't really go too much over the TCG builds there.
That's
and have a look. We're just going to assume and maybe see a couple of things right in the middle of it. But right now, this doesn't seem to be working too well. We got the first down of Moonapar over on that hench. And now Synona with the decap, but already a 40-point lead in mid. Not looking too well. Well, they're sustaining, but there's not really much else coming of it.
He's gone full on mantra madness right now. I mean, he's gone for harmonious mantras as well for the extra charge, and we've got the Condi removal as well coming out. So with the restorable mantras, so yeah.
Two members as well. I did not see that coming. Lipion was down 11. Did he? He might have shortly went for the rest there, which then was punished. Now Rom is chasing Helseth. He's moving back to mine, so that is where they are pushing in. Two people left to bleed out, and that was actually a really safe position to leave them to bleed out. This is of course also the point they're going to respawn on. So yeah, they really need the quick kill here.
Just watching Frey pulling out those minions, and they go over towards Texby. He gets finished pretty quickly. Portal back over towards the midpoint for Texby means he's going to survive, obviously. You're going to see him, Helseth, going for the res, and of course getting that feedback on the res trait as well is pretty nice. Useful in high pressure situations, but obviously they're not really in a lot of pressure there. Free res through the portal means that TCG should be able to plus on this fight and possibly get the kill, although actually Tage is doing a great job at line of sighting, actually, and TCG not making much effort to move around that pillar, getting a decap over on Henge as well. Syndrome does decap that node, enabling oRNG Logo to possibly come back later in the game. Texby's gone down over towards, again, towards the
look
right.
at this guy.
He's such a beast.
2k HP
He's
left.
going to die here, surely.
Yeah.
Surely he must die here.
The conditions is kind of something that you don't really have to deal that much with anymore. Now Texby, however, is still going to be able to get on point. He's not going to get the decap. So right, oh, he is! That updraft. Looking for half the point, going to get the decap, and now his job is done. He needs to leave. This 2v1 doesn't benefit him in any way, so he made the best of it.
Look at the amount of boons that are permanently on oRNG Logo. Like, TCG aren't getting this sustained in terms of their boons at the moment. I know it's not something we always mention, but it's always present. I mean, mostly, you know, obviously in the quiet times of the game, not so much. But Lipion now under quite a lot of pressure over on the midpoint. He's going to have to just disengage to regenerate himself. Might pop back up there in a minute, but he's probably might even think about going towards the Henge. Although it's a nice, comfortable 1v1 between Zan and Moonapar now at the moment.
Yep. We saw switch out Syndrome for Moonapar there, quickly switched, and now in mid, Syndrome is going to make the life of Helseth a bit more difficult. Already saw the proc of the Vamp Rune. We see the Blood Frenzy coming out as a last bit of defense, but I think that Syndrome is going to be on the chase there. Oh, Portal coming out. Back up. Okay, interesting. Well, he is saving himself, and now Red Levin could actually go for the sneaky decap, and he's going to get that. No, we see the port also of Syndrome, so second thief also with the mobility back on point. Now Rom back there. This could be an interesting 2v2.
I think so. I'm also kind of watching the minion Mancer as well over on the windmill. Now, I actually think in terms of the Ellie, you know, he's got so much cleave that he's going to be able to take down those minions quite quickly.
Yeah, you said windmill just there, which confused
windmill,
me.
Sorry, over on the mine.
On
windmill,
the mine,
wow.
Course, yeah.
Never said that
It almost looks like a windmill, like a very weird windmill. So Frey right now in a 1v1, not faring off too well right now, and he is going to disengage. Just taking a bit of time to get his minions back up.
Red Levin got that sneaky stealth res again over on mid. Does get the port onto Frey there, trying to get the extra damage coming out. Fear as well as on the steal from the Necro, of course, very beneficial for Red Levin. But we are going to see Syndrome here. Look at him coming in right at the last second there while Red Levin is trying to be offensive, defending Frey and also almost taking Red Levin down. Syndrome here, sorry, not Syndrome. Moonapar is just moving down towards the point as well to try and cleave out Red Levin if possible. Not going to happen. Frey gets the defense that he needed and support, and Texby actually might get caught out himself. Lightning flashes away, does get crippled there as well as just slowly as he moves out the point. Tage mid 1v1 versus Big Zan. should be okay for a little bit of time now. That's what I'm saying.
That res attempt on Rom basically destroyed all chances of Orange Logo doing anything in this team fight. They need to disengage, and they need to disengage fast, and Syndrome is going to make the only sensible decision here and go directly for the henge. The thing is, yeah, Big Zan kind of spotted that. Stealth going on. Is he going to be quick enough? No, just turns around into the refuge and maybe just confuse Zan a bit. Going into the refuge, of course, also forces Zan to kind of stay on that point. As well as the breeze of Rom, of course.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, unfortunately, Tage isn't really in this fight at the moment. I mean, it would be more preferable for Tage to be involved in this fight. And Helsef's actually doing a good job at trying to push Frey away as well. Lipion coming in as well. He's going to try and sandwich him there, but now Frey needs to surround himself in those marks, trying to get back up himself. A little bit of an interrupt and an immobilize onto Frey is going to cause him some problems, but he's going to jump into Death Shroud and he's going to be okay for now. But as soon as he comes out of that, he's going to be in a ton of trouble. Conditions piling on him. His life force is draining fast as well. As soon as he comes out, he's dead. And he's going to be taken out here. Mine will be successfully TCG's. Orange Logo disengaging now over towards the midpoint. Looks like they're going to push over towards Henge, perhaps. I think Tage should have gone with these guys rather than Moonapie there. And maybe he should have gone to mid. But we're going to see Helsef actually and Red Levin going for the quick kill on Swan.
And I think they're going to make that swap, although...
It's the best swap, yeah.
Bleed out. Nope, dead now, so we're not going to see rest there. We have Moonapie going over. What is he trying to do? Is he going to try and get the steal? No, that's not happening. They're already done.
I mean, this is the reasoning behind why they didn't both push. I mean, they're currently in a 2v2 situation there, and outnumbering when Frey gets there. And Moonapie and Tage stayed just in case we saw the push from 3 players of TCG, so they could sustain that point. Now, Moonapie can move over towards the henge because he knows where the players are, but Tage is left alone.
Yeah.
TCG, they will leave Tage alone. They'll avoid him on map because look what's happening. I mean, Orange Logo members are dying. They're getting rezzed. You know, combination of people like Syndrome and Moonapie, and actually all these guys doing a great job in terms of their rezzing capability. But still, their biggest support, their biggest player, in terms of how how effective he can be in team fights, isn't there. Saying that, Big Zan goes down. Is going to be raised back up here though as well, and another stealth res move. Romcoat's going to go down himself. Interrupts come out as they go for the res, which causes a ton of damage on Orange Logo as well with the AoE interrupts. Shadow Refuge comes out. Are they going to be able to get him back up? Frey has to pull out using the Flesh Worm, gets damaged as well and interrupted by Helsef. I mean, this is messy at the moment. They've got no support. They need Tage in this fight so badly.
And actually, the interrupts are really doing the work in these rest scenarios. Just getting interrupted, then really benefiting them. Synuna also the follow-up kill now. This is not looking good for Orange. Tage basically has not been in a team fight thus far.
Nope.
At least not really often. Now they can actually engage on him. Completely no. We have 2 people bleeding out. Maybe Rom is going to go for the rest there. No, Rom now dropped down, is basically there for the taking. Spawn camping right now. He's going to move it over to the henge point, of course, to at least be in some sort of useful. This looks very much over.
Yeah, feels that way. Feels that way very much so at the moment. And that was a considerable team wipe. Team wipe is 3 members.
And we had two of these in the game. And both with rest tries where Tage was not involved.
Yeah, I mean, I just like to see them on their regular builds next game. I think, if I'm really honest, to see exactly how well that's going to match up. Because beginning of the game, it wasn't too bad because they didn't, you're playing completely different builds. You're playing this Ranger damage sustain build, and then you're playing versus a Minion Mancer. What is the best rotation for this? Put the Ellie against the Minion Mancer so you can slowly kill these minions, and then the Minion Mancer is left alone. If you don't support him and +1, then you're going to have problems. Texby is actually having a few problems himself. Does get pressured quite hard, especially if Syndrome comes in, and that's probably what needed to happen earlier on in the game a lot quicker, because they could have taken down that Ellie, for example, but then Red Levin comes in to counter that fact, so Texby can actually regenerate himself, move back in, and they can might get something out of this, but it's going to take a while. That's the problem. But now we've got that 2v2 happening there, we've got the 1v1 mid, Moonapie versus Big Zan, and now Tage can finally move into a situation where he's going to be very useful, but Ron might actually go down before that happens. He does. and
I mean,
he's going
okay,
to come in for the res knockback.
now the
Should
rest
get
is
it.
probably going to happen. We see the female Wrath, and Syndrome wouldn't even have to come in. So he's now on a point, but he's on a point that's not even contested.
But they should be able to get it because they've got the pressure. They've got the things on their side at the moment. Although Rom is kind of still in a bit of trouble. Drops the heels, should be okay for now. But still, no, they just have to force Elsef off point. But he's not doing that. He doesn't need to. He's not actually being pressured that hard. Only until Syndrome comes on the point is that going to happen. So Elsef's going to be okay. Now he has to think about that survival.
Really?
Gets
The
Vapor goes out.
4 point to go decap. But I think it's going to be the stomp of either Syndrome or Roman Co. We see the first one. Can we get an interrupt on Rom? We need this res, and they actually clutch it back up. That's going to be the cap. But now, well, actually, fights all over the place. So the potential is there, but this is so risky, and the phrase stomp is going to be winning point.
Indeed.
Yes, indeed.
Interesting game, we'll say. Interesting game. Necro Miniamats are making a
not really a
triumphant return. No.
Return also
making
not.
A return for a game. Are we going to see them play that
Making an appearance. And only return if you've once been there.
That's true. That's true. Miniamancer was there for a very, very short period. Very short period. This was a long time ago.
Yeah, before the first WTS. Or the first.
Oh yeah,
WG.
before the first tournaments, probably. Before, like, back when tons of people were playing, and I saw it in some tournament. Maybe in
Customary.
like Mist League or something, or maybe even before that. It was around for a little bit of time when people were just playing it, like teams, lower teams for like sustain, and because it was so tanky, and they just got out rotated, and then just people stopped playing it.
Yes, sometimes certain things were just viable because people played differently.
Mm-hmm.
It's not only all balance on the ArenaNet side, just twisting the stats here and there. Someone just whispering me, Mini and Necro, top personal score. Brilliant. Yeah, so just the behavior of how people play matter really has a great effect. Meaning that back in the day when people really know what they were doing, a lot of things were viable. Viable.
Yeah.
I hope you hear the air quotes.
I mean, as well, it was going to be interesting how long. This is probably going to be, in terms of like stable metas, this is probably not going to last that much longer. Well, depending on when the Heart of Thorns is going to be released. You know, this could be the shortest lived one.
Well,
thankfully
it's
for
really
some classes.
still up in the air.
Oh, it's still up in the air. There's still things that I'm convinced that maybe, you know, are still not probably being used or utilized. But at the moment, this is the way it's going to be. And we don't know, obviously, when the expansion is coming out. But there's going to be a lot of changes then, potentially. But we'll have to wait and see. Obviously, these builds are still very strong. I think some things will stay the same. But whenever that comes in, that's not relevant right now. It's not going to be relevant for WTS. Something extreme happens, but you never know. Just waiting for these guys to ready up. Could be the last game of today. Ready when you are.
You have.
Huzzah!
Okay, House of still running power block. Switched out the mantras.
Yes, he's probably gone back over to Chaos. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Oh, no,
The
no
PU.
Well.
What's up? You okay, Nick?
Yeah, sure.
Seem disturbed.
Disturbed, yeah. No.
Mirror of Anguish with the PU, of course, over on Chaos. Straight line. It's going to be quite useful. So the increased stealth duration is very useful on Torch and also Decoy and whatnot. He's going to be able to survive a lot more, as also his engages when he stealths up are going to be longer, so he can pick his moments a bit more. Going to be pretty good. Also
really
gets those points.
That trade lines. I think trade lines, by the way, just brainstorm, should always be in the same position. Like if you pick that, it's the highest up or something. Would make it a lot easier to recognize stuff.
We could just look for a certain couple of traits and see if there's some big changes, but depending on the amulet. Oh my god, Helseth is going full man mode with the Zerker amulet.
Oh.
Okay. Risky
Okay.
business from him. No other big changes, really. Elixir X pulled out by Big Zan. Red Levin, is he going critical strikes? Nope, he's staying in Shadow Arts. Text B, Fire Trait Line. Same utilities. CELE with Holbrook. There, no Vapor, no Vampirine. Rom, still on Ranger. Frey playing. Oh, Nick.
Oh, the Burning Guard.
Frey's bringing it in. He's bringing it in the Burning Guard. So, Burning Guard.
Yeah.
is a good thing for a few reasons. The counter of
reason.
Well, I mean, it's
Burning
good...
does really a lot of damage.
Oh god, yeah. I mean, the thing with this is as well is that it's a good counter to things like that Vampirine, I guess, because that burning is going to persist, and the amount of burns that are coming out is that Vampirine isn't going to be massively useful sometimes. So before those LEs, before that Vampirine comes out, sometimes that Vampirine Rock Punk comes out, they might die before they're able to get through a portal. Of course, they've still got Vapor Form when they're down.
Okay, Helseth now, by the way, back to Inspiration.
Oh wow, he changed it back to Chaos, then went back to Inspiration. Yeah. Awesome.
Okay, that's probably going to switch just before we start.
Last week,
we'll see.
Last week was the quicker Go4GW2 Cup.
Yeah,
so this week we're just they're just being paid back for that apparently.
Yeah. But he's still on Zerker, and now we're about to get started into the game. Could potentially be the last one of today's cup. Let's see how the Burning Guard works out. TCG on the red side versus orange logo on the blue side.
I mean, one problem with Guardians, like Meditation Guardians as a general, is speed. So he's going to need those speed boosts whenever he can get them. Tage running with shield on the Bunker Guardian as he goes into mid 1v1 versus Lipion. We've got Rom coming in. Oh no, Rom is not on Ranger. Sorry, I saw the icon. The icon didn't change. It was still stuck on Ranger. I didn't check him out, but he's gone back over to Warrior. So apologies for that. He's actually running with Frenzy there instead of the Balance Stance there. So he's going to be running that to get the extra quickness coming out. So people choosing to go for a little bit more damage in this game as well. Big Zan go for the cap over on the waterfall. They win the side node. And now there's going to be a massive team fight over on mid.
And Helseth already the portal for the disengage. He needs to be really careful with that Zerker amulet. Because there is all kinds of things flying around that can instantly kill him.
I mean, to a degree, the interrupts are going to help him survive more as well. Because at least he can stun and get away that way. And the stealthing as well, so he can be a little bit more risky. He can be, a little bit more risque in this position. So it's not so bad, but still, like you say, I mean, there's no survivability there, and there could be an issue with Mesmer. But hey ho, Syndroneer now probably thinking about going for the extra damage on TCG. Tech speech just as he does.
Double down. Who's going to be the first one? We see interrupts all over the place. The damage is really
going to get up.
Oh,
feedback.
TCG feedback coming out. We
Interrupt.
still have Syndroneer on the side. They just split it off. Tage is going for the rest. And we have Levin now down as well as Tex moved over to the side in that Vapor Form. Lipion going down. He still has that Vapor Form. Zan could be the follow-up kill if he doesn't make it out of there really, really quickly. That's a double cap coming out.
And that was... You see the Frey? Did you see Frey's pressure in that situation as well? The conditions, like the burns and the conditions that come out. The problem, look at Helseth. Before Frey can even get close, he pulls out the interrupts and Frey's almost dead. He has to pull out that block kill, no support, and he's in almost no man's land. But he's with Syndroneer, and that's where his survival is really. That's what he's focusing on. Like, to survive, Syndroneer needs to almost be around him quite consistently, actually. Either that or Tage. And look, Red Levin comes in and Helseth as well. They sucker him into a corner, but Tage comes in with the stealth res for Syndroneer as well. And good job for those guys to keep Frey back up. And now he should be okay for a while to re-engage and actually cause a lot of pain to these guys. Texby's not going to be able to take away those conditions fast enough. But getting the interrupts just completely counter what Frey's trying to do here on this point.
And now the question is, does oRNG want to stick with this team fight? They might want to think about going towards mid, especially because Lavin is pulling out on the side. That's going to alleviate the pressure in that fight, but also open it up for the decap. They can still hold that quarry, but they need to be careful about their 1v1. Moonapper actually winning against Zan thus far. We'll have to see back into that in a second. Maybe Red Lavin after the decap. And +1 that, depending on how it goes over there. But no, we have Helseth and Texby down already. Lipion there, the only one to survive. And that basically moves everything that TCG now did back.
I mean, to a degree as well, is that, you know, Levin pushing mid, was that the best move there? Because that wasn't probably bringing them the desired effects. You know, they probably wanted someone from oRNG Logo to pull out and go to mid to defend and lose a player, and then Red Levin go back to quarry so they could +1 and have the advantage. But like you said, yeah, they just didn't. They just stuck with it and went for the kills, and they're going to win out in this map in the end. Red Levin now moving over towards Waterfall 2v2 between Big Zan himself, Syndranir, and also Moonapire there as we go back towards mid. Contested points, so I didn't even get the cap there. Helseth can now TC on the side, possibly get an interrupt on Frey, which can then TCG can move in on and try and get some cleave around. But Tage is supporting Frey very well, so now he can be very, very offensive, but jump straight into that Blurred Frenzy. But Rom and Tage are there to get the res. So Frey, every time he goes down, they're able to get the res very quickly. They've got the quickness as well that comes out for Rom, not only with his trait to go down, do damage below 50%, but also with that frenzy. He can get quickness whenever he wants. You know,
sometimes,
when he's got
sometimes it's really fascinating to see oRNG Logo in kind of the kill mode and how little they care about caps when they do have these lined up kills, and I'm pretty sure that they're going to get it. I mean, we saw it with Levin. We're kind of seeing it now. They're giving up the quarry for the fights on the 2 other points. Rom in a bad situation right now. Can Tage come in fast enough? They're already moving one another. And now we see the Rampage hold a bit of support. And he's already going to bring the damage, bring the pain to Lipion there.
I mean, he can bring out that stance in combination with that Rampage as well, you know. I mean, obviously, when he's in Rampage, he gets the quickness when they're below 50% HP anyway, but, you know, it's still got a lot of effects. And, I mean, I think that Berserk stance is actually quite... It's not just a change up in terms of him doing more damage, but in terms of actual survival for, like, people like Frey, you know. I mean, might not be thought of that way, but, you know, could be. Lipion almost gets res there, but Rom gets the quickness, so he's able to pull out 100 blades and actually keep the down cleave going. But Lipion is going to get back up here.
Get back up, and they're now in a good position to get a quick kill on Rom. I mean, we have Tage there for potential rest, but on his own, that's going to be difficult against all these people. He coming in and Tage sees that this is not the way to go. If anything, he's going to keep it neutral for him. Still, where is the rest of... Up on the side now, might get the kill on Zan here. How are we looking with the burnings? Moment, Ring of Warding coming out, knocked into the side, Helseth coming in, but that's not going to do much for Zan unless he can get a really, really quick kill on Frey already with the CC, the interrupt. Syndranir on the side, we see the Vampirism proc, and he goes through that portal. Back to safety.
Tage is just surviving at mid very well. Like, people... Bunker Guardian can be played to the point where you can sustain versus a team for quite a long time, especially at the moment, but there are not many people who can sustain as long as Tage in the way he plays Bunker Guardian. And I think, you know, you can play that build well. You can be a good Bunker support Guardian if you're given the opportunity to get in those situations that you need to be in. Helseth goes down, cornered right on the side, and Waterfall now as well, in a good position for that AoE cleave to come out from Moonapire there, as well as his other team member, Syndranir, who is able to duo up with him.
He stomped the wrong person. Or was that just a taunt? No. WTF. He stomped the wrong person. But, well,
Frey down mid.
Sometimes it can happen. But
2 cap for TCG.
Oh, H actually not committing to that res, and that's going to be the end of Frey there. Rom trying to just get the counter kill on Zan. Gets immobilized, is out of that rampage. Now Tage committing to that. He actually chased them off. He moved them away from Frey, and then Tage afterwards with a second attempt on the res got it. All back up and can push the pressure down on TCG.
Yeah, Burning Guardian is great versus Engineer, but look what Zan's got. He's got the Elixir X, which can do a ton of damage to Frey, but he can get the blinds off and actually some more burning damage. But Red Levin then can engage onto Frey as well. He pulls out the renewed focus, which enables him to survive over towards the midpoint now, and they can back up each other. Tage pulls out the shields to reflect anything that comes out from Big Zan. Feedback res comes out from Helseth, able to pull out the TCG member. Syndranir just advances straight through towards Zan as well. Six Shoes comes out from him as Syndranir tries to get some damage on him. It actually could go back up and focus. I don't think Zan has many cooldowns after he did have to use his healing turret there, but they're able to get the decap mid. Frey gets focused by Helseth and many members of TCG there. ECAP comes out. So oRNG Logo are very distracted at mid actually.
Yeah, but that's kind of the story of oRNG Logo in a lot of these fights against TCG. They are just after the kills, they are looking for the people to die, and now with Helseth I don't think that Lipion can actually do anything against that. There's too much burning on that corpse. Helseth, well, pulls away, used downset ability, but that's going to be the down. No, Levin actually coming in, down he goes. Double out upon cap for TCG, however. Will oRNG Logo now get a significant enough wipe of TCG to advance to the outer point and make up for this huge point loss they just suffered?
Yeah, it's not too bad a point as to happen as well, because they're actually still in the lead, thankfully enough for themselves. I mean, they've already got the decap over on Waterfall. They should be able to get it on Quarry if they disengage, but it looks like Zan's guarding that node. Helseth starting to engage +1 over on Waterfall, but no one from oRNG Logo is going over to that point. They've been distracted by Red Levin and Big Zan at the moment, so Helseth can get that extra kill. Sorry, 2v1. It was 2v1 correction there. Oh, Lipion close to the portal. Vapor Form can of course go through.
Gotta get Helseth down.
Oh no.
Helseth down as well, and Rom just in that rampage, trying to make use of a bit of it also on the midpoint, and now they really have the advantage. Helseth and Lipion. Oh, can they be left though? Can they? Coming in, someone, TCG, Taxby is coming in. Red Levin as well. I see almost all of these guys standing back up again. There we see the feedback res. All back up. The only one down right now is Big Zan, and he died somewhere completely different. Yeah, you just, honestly, just stomp people. It's tempting, but this is too dangerous.
Good job there from TCG to survive that in the end. Whether or not they're going to survive it completely, though, is another thing, because of that, they've had to lose the points completely, and they're going to actually be free capped here. This is pretty strong from oRNG Logo, coming from the last game, of course.
Gate already open.
Indeed. So it looks like fast movement from from oRNG Logo, sorry, to think about potentially finishing this off. Rampage, Lord Rush, very strong. Still got 40 seconds till that comes up, but we'll have Frenzy as well as the negative 50% HP quickness as well, which will benefit them. Are they going to run straight in? Are they going to turn on Zan? No, they're going to just go straight on.
No, the stomp on Frey comes out first. Helseth with rally again. This kind of negates their ability to go for the Lord. Wait, really? Two-man Lord Rush with a two-man defense? This is a bit ballsy. Rom and
he's got Rampage, though, too.
Open to the damage, but the Rampage is going to take care of it. No, he doesn't even need it, apparently. But they both might go down. The Tornado comes out with the CC. We already have Syndranir down. Syndranir down,
he's
save damage.
Rampage,
but that's not going to be enough. Rampage. Vengeance, but he's going to go down before he can use the Vengeance. That's a successful Lord defense, but look at the points, Jebro. They still have the double cap, so 415. Yeah. They are way ahead and have time for the respawn to come. That was a valid attempt, and I don't think they're going to lose everything on it. Because the respawn already happening. Big Zan, they also needed to move back into the map. That gave them some time for the respawn.
They just needed to have that extra, like, 10-20 seconds later. So they had Rampage. That would have been a Lord kill. That would have been third game already. Still confident that that's probably going to happen. Although, you know, anything can change. They lost 2 members for a bit of time, and TCG have made some moves on the
second
map.
Attempt.
Some steps.
Rom running straight through.
They're just going now. They're going for it.
Now Tage for the defense. Do we have the guards down? 2 guards still. Really? 4 guards still alive. They just ignored them completely. Now we have the Rampage, however. We have the Rampage. This is going to be a Rampage. Lord instantly pulled. There we go. That's going to be a kill. No reaction thus far. A bit of support coming out. The rest of oRNG Logo is just staying on the map to die.
Quickness comes out from Rampage as well. Interrupt on Lord. He's down for sure.
Yep.
That's
we
the
go.
problem, though. You forget that, like, not only is he in Rampage, and he's going to get that quickness buff as well. So it's like, when he's at 50%, he's not going to hit, it's not going to be the same pace as which he's killed at, because he's got quickness on the Warrior. You've got more people coming in, so good stuff coming out from oRNG Logo there. Good job. Third map. Second time today.
Map, yeah, I think they actually could have won that without the Lord Rush. That would have been possible, but I mean, whatever the map gives you.
Exactly, yeah. They just nipped back in there and took it by storm.
By storm, you say?
Indeed. By storm.
Indubitably.
So, let's have a look, see what is going to be changed up here at all. So, apologies that I was talking about Ron playing Ranger in the last game earlier on, because the icon is still a Ranger on my screen anyway.
I could not be confused.
Okie dokie, no worries. Zan's still on Engineer, Lipion still on Dagger Ellie, Red 11 still playing DP Thief obviously, Sexby on the Dagger Elementalist, and Houseif playing that Interruption.
Yep.
Mesmer build still. Is he
Almost
going
Time
for
Warp.
Zerker? Yeah, there we go. Time Warp as well. Time to win those fights. Get those reses even more effectively as well. I mean, Time Warp's going to be quite nice on this map especially. I can see some troubles here for oRNG Logo on this map actually.
Yeah, exactly. Especially with the guard staying what he is, with the Burning Guard, of course. On this map, mobility kinda good to have, and normally I would say that well, with mobility, TCG just with that Mesmer has the upper hand. The Burning Guard in theory very slow, but just with that teleport, he just needs a target on the mid up to the clock tower as well, so that's definitely helping.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I mean, it's going to be. Someone whispered me and said, "You really like quickness." Yes, I do. I don't think it's been used enough in the past. I think now it's a boon. It's a lot more noticeable as well when it comes out. You know, there's so much to watch out for in this game when you spectate and when you cast, and how good quickness is in terms of ending fights and ending things quite quickly, or even, you know, escalating things to a point where they can end quickly. You know, the Guardian supporting and able to support faster when he pulls out his trait, or when he pulls out his elite, or encourage his team to do more damage at a specific time. You know, we've got our burst, let's use it now. Well, yeah, you know, he's shouting. He's shouting. That was the point of that, I think. He's saying, "Feel my wrath," and then they die. Or, "Feel my wrath, I will res you."
Really?
I don't know.
I will res you with a very stern expression.
Voiced by Mr. Tage himself. But yeah, I think you're right. You're right about the mobility. It's definitely. Port was very important on this map, and we saw it when we saw oRNG Loganairs coming up against TCG earlier.
By the way, have a look at Tage. That armor looks awesome.
Yep. Balthazar's armor, man. Thick. You need to get yourself some.
His head looks a bit floaty though. Okay, back to the game though. If we think
He's
back,
bald though, so that's the best.
Yeah, definitely. If we have a look at the last game, I am pretty sure that oRNG Logo, if they play as aggressively for kills as they have in the last game, they can't get away with that.
Nope.
They
not as easily.
They need to play a bit more rotationally, or well, a bit more for the caps and not just for the giant team fights. And especially when you don't have like creatures. Well, okay, creatures would be ignored. But if you don't have Lord or something to make up points, really need to take care of the caps. So we have to see how the well, we don't care about caps mentality, but sometimes oRNG will fare them, will work for them.
I mean,
but I think they're aware enough.
Yeah, of course. I mean, but I think it worked okay. Just to note as well that Frey isn't using hammer, he's using sword. So of course, you know, another port into mid is great. You can still get that movement onto mid from the side of the wall with the second blast ability on Hammer, of course, if he should so wish. But he's gone for more, he's gone for focus there as well for the extra block. And extra damage that can bring on the 5th. And then obviously the blind and regen on the 4th skill for focus. But yeah, last map, I mean, their rotations were okay. I mean, I think TCG almost rotated to a point where, like you said, I think was a good point where, oRNG Logo didn't get suckered into moving or committing people to a contested point. They held the fight where they were outnumbered, and because they can still get it later. As long as they were getting those kills and finishing those fights, then they could do that, and they did. Sometimes that doesn't happen, of course.
Yeah, I think especially on this map, TCG can a bit easier just say nope to a fight.
Yeah.
So it's going to be harder for oRNG sucker TCG into fights, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised, I guess, that to a degree they didn't disengage a couple of times on that last map, TCG-wise, when we were in the quarry. But hey, we'll have to wait and see. How Steffi is still using that Zerker amulet?
The last time I checked.
Indeed. So TCG looking for their win this week, as you said last week. They did not go through. They did not. They did not take the final.
So this is definitely the last game for today's Go4GW2 Cup. It is again the good old classic matchup: TCG on the red side versus oRNG Logo on the blue.
See the push coming out from blue. They're not sending anyone close. They're being full offensive into the map for mid. Treb usage from Levin over on the side, of course, of TCG. And they're going to 4-man push. I mean, that Treb actually might be a good idea to keep hammering on that because they've got so many members over there. One member of oRNG Logo has gone over towards the windmill as well to try and sustain that. But Munipar needs to exit quite quickly because Helsef's there on his tail and Lipion going down mid himself as well. So good move from oRNG Logo to try and take that early advantage, which is great. But unfortunately, they have lost the 2 side nodes. So that's going to cause them a few issues as well. They need to make sure they try and get this kill against Zan. Now, Frey going 1v1 against Zan is a good matchup because he does so much damage.
Levin comes into mid and Tage can't do anything against it, but Syndriner definitely can. He comes in.
Oh.
That's going to be the follow-up kill, I feel. Vampirun, down he goes with conditions.
Portal? No, can't go through it, of course. Oh, good lord. Again, he's going to be damaged out there. And Portal not going to save him on this day, unfortunately.
And
as we see him move back over to Windmill.
Portal on cooldown now as well. That's something to be aware of. Munipar didn't quite get the decap on that Windmill now in the 1v1.
Tage can't be interrupted. Oh no! Helsef got Red Levin up over towards the mid. Tage couldn't be interrupted there in the end, but got the end wrist up in the end. Sorry for interrupting there. It was quite a bit interrupting. I can't stop saying interrupts, flipping mesmers. Anyway, Big Zan down over towards the mansion. Romdi coming for the +1, I do believe. But what I was saying about the burning guard against engineers, it's absolutely horrible. The amount of burns you haven't got. That you haven't got enough condition removal, unfortunately, to take him out. So that's a good matchup for the Guardian, to be honest. Zan needs some help in that situation.
Yeah, Tage, however, doing a good job in mid to just avoid the damage with a bit more line of sight. Now Syndriner with the +1. Drop XP down. And I think, no, he cannot be left there. Dan coming in. Now he tries to go for the storm with Munipar. Now no CC coming out. Munipar can't get the second one. Tries to hammer on. Syndriner coming in for the +1. That's not gonna do much for Big Zan. Trying to find Whip. Having no success. Steve is just too fast. Double cap for oRNG Logo. They need to help Frey right now.
Big Zan and Sinjin here playing hide and seek on Battle of Kylo. Friendly game of hide and seek, just ending in someone's death, essentially. Frey quite low. Well, no, sorry, not quite low himself. He's just going to engage there with the block onto Helsef, essentially, as he is stealthed. But he's going to come out with a nice interrupt. Red Levin coming up from behind, backstab. He's going to go down. Rom trying to come in for that res there. Are they going to be able to get it? Stealth comes out as well to give it less pressure. It's going to put Engineer in trouble. Rom as well. He gets
coming in.
There.
Knockback is going to go for quickness. He has the quickness, and he by himself might have enough resability. No,
hey.
To disengage. Now Tage can just be chased.
It's too much pressure. Yeah, exactly. Now Tage is too slow. to move out effectively, unfortunately, and he might go down himself. I mean, he's got enough HP to... He's just trying to survive. I mean, you know, they can't kill him that quickly. Zan's just going to push him away with the rifle. Tage knows that him being over on that mansion point is obviously pointless, so he moves into the team fight, which is probably going to erupt mid. We've got Portal there as well, just to be aware. Texby is going to actually Vapor Form potentially. Oh, no, sorry. He's going to be full dead there. We are going to see the disappearance of Helseth back over towards mid now as they do secure that node with Lipion on point. Zan is just going to hang out at Mansion though because he's waiting for respawns. Surprised Frey didn't go for the 1v1 there actually versus Zan. It would have been quite a nice move, but he needs to equal out fights elsewhere. Maybe Ron will go for it.
Red 11 and Helseth. I'm trying to get the quick kill on Munapar. By the way, I'm loving the combination of Munapar and Syndrome. They're really good with the communication or really good with the coordination of the burst and the CC. You get a really just unbelievably clean kill off Texby every single time they try.
That's pretty nice. I mean, Munapar is pretty good elementalist as it is. Wouldn't mind trying to see him in like a full team lineup quite soon, which would actually be quite nice to see. So we're starting to see a lot more awesome players coming into the scene at the moment in solid team setups. So exciting to see what's going to happen after WTS. But otherwise, we're in Carlo, third game, last game of the day. Go4GW2 Cup, very close at the moment. Only 10-point difference between them, and a big massive team fight occurs over on midpoint. Helseth in the down state here with the time warp. No one's going to get the rest though.
Lipion is going to get rest on the side because if that happens, someone completely different. Helseth, however, that is just a bit too much to ask.
You sure? I mean, it happened over on Fofo.
No, he's down. And look at the health bars. Entire TCG is suffering there. A bit of support coming in to get them back to healthy levels. Yeah. XP on the side there has a bit of trouble surviving. Might want to get into that team fight to benefit from the support, but they let off the chase for now. Getting the cap, double cap, still in the lead, and maybe the follow-up kill on Lipion would be on the table, right?
Potentially. Orange Logo is starting to come back now with their own lead in this 2-cap now as they have got Windmill and the midpoint secured in their favour. Lipion now on node as well over on mid with Texby. He'll be able to sustain here and stand on point, but they need some pressure coming elsewhere, which is where Helseth again is coming in with that treb action. Actually being very effective against Ron. Ron needs to get out of there. He's got a few conditions on him as well. Needs to regenerate and does move back over towards the mansion to potentially think about moving over there, but does get bursted onto by Red 11. Texby follows up from behind. He needs to get out of here. He uses that Earthshaker to move forward. But now the Slick Shoes comes out. Good job from Zan as well to bring Rom into the down state. Tons of damage comes out as well onto Syndrome from Red 11 on that Warrior Steel, and he's able to re-engage onto Syndrome. Syndrome has to run away. Frey in the down state as well. 2 members, and if Syndrome goes down here as well, that's going to be a third, and they could possibly retake this map and get the things in their favour. This is a big moment at the moment for TCG to come back into this game.
Ballsy engaged. Syndrome does not care for HP. He just immediately stealed right on top of Levin. Gonna look for the engage race stealth. I think he could turn something around in this midfight. Oh no, well, Tage needs help. I think they should maybe both disengage. Or is Tage just buying time? Oh, the trebuchet comes in again. Gets Syndrome immediately. The first shot, very often the most detrimental of any trebuchet shot.
He eats a massive ball of fire. Probably regretting that as I say it, but anyway. Of death, yes. And he's going to actually try and exit himself here from this mansion point as he starts to get focused quite heavily. Burning and also blinders on him at the moment, so not able to re-engage until that's gotten rid of. That's what happens when Texby is around and he starts to support him and re-sustain his ability as Syndrome spots that Zan is low HP. Shadow Refuge comes down from Red 11, anticipating that down that comes out onto him, and they get the stealth so much so that they can get over towards Helseth and possibly res him. Look at Red 11 is a bloody hero, Nick. He is a bloody hero.
I'm loving the way that Tage is using the shield knockback. Like, really aggressively. Just getting into the fights and trying to get some kind of chaos with that knockback. With the time warp coming out here, there was the time warp for the rest. That would be perfect with that speed. They are going to get the kill. Going to get him back up, but look at them. Helseth maybe in a bit of trouble. Is in stealth, so for now he's safe. But Syndrome should have spotted him. He could just go for the engage in Helseth. I think that's going to happen as soon as Rom is on him. Port back. Nice positioning here.
Look how close this
Safe.
game is, 4 points. I think Big Zam was hoping as well that Elixir X he was going to get quickness from Rampage, but he actually got the quickness tornado, which causes a lot of CC in that situation. Big Zam is going to go down here. Pressure comes out from Frey and the other Orange Logo members. Even Tage sending in that orb. Do any kind of cleave. He's not going to be able to get rezzed here. He's going to knock back. But that's not going to get anyone down, and everyone has to disengage, and that's caused a lot of problems to TCG. Look at Red 11. He has no cooldowns. He just has withdraw. Big Zan obviously down and out of this fight. Helseth got Portal up still.
Yeah,
Still
have
has
a look
couple
at
of
the map.
cooldowns. Oh!
Right now, they're just chaotically in the mid. This is a scenario that Orange Logo does not want against TCG, because we have the outer point camp where they need to keep one bunker on one point every single second of the game. So they're moving into mid already. They don't want this, because facing up against the portal when you don't have a portal on a double outer point cap, that's just not your scenario. So moving into mid, trying to get the quick kill on Lipion, and it's looking good, but Big Zan coming in. He should not be able to get the res on all by himself. Helseth coming in as well. We see the mower coming up on Frey. That's not going to be enough. That's not going to be enough. Big Zan escaping to the side, but one down already. Lipion, no, now with the Vapor Form still on the side, are they going to have enough resing capability? This third person comes in for the CC and the damage. Lipion is down and out for the next couple of seconds.
For it, everyone.
For it. It being a few seconds. 15.
I mean, exactly. Now, I mean, Orange Logo 4-man zerged into mid there. I mean, they just left Mansion open, they let TCG have it, and they got the point in the end, and they actually benefited in this situation. So even though it was 1 cap apiece, in the end, losing Mansion wasn't so bad. So now Syndrome is pushing on towards Windmill, which I'm not sure is the best idea in the world, because they've got respawns coming out as well.
This is hilarious. Tage just going complete aggro on Red 11 and Helseth, running into them, knocking them back, trying to do every little bit of damage he can do, even though it's not much. But yeah, that was a funny picture right there.
It interrupts them as well, you know. It interrupts their momentum in terms of their damage, you know. Pulls out the shield. They can't burst in shatter. They can't port on them exactly how they would like to, or at least one person can engage, but the other can't. And then it interrupts that burst. So it's quite nice survivability for Tage, and momentum interrupts. But look at Orange Logo, free cap coming out.
They're going to give up mid now.
Actually, Ron winning that 1v1 versus Texby over on the Mansion is massive.
Was it a 1v1? Are you sure?
I don't know actually. We are seeing. I might have had Frey with him. I don't know.
Might have also just be a quick Syndrome now, because I saw him popping into mid afterwards, so he might have been around there. There's a time warp coming out on the Mansion, but this is a double cap and 1 neutral. This is pretty much over. We only have now 25 points to go in Orange Logo. After a very, very equal fight for the majority of this game, with that one big team fight there, they turned it around, just ignoring the 1 point, focusing on mid, and then afterwards winning that fight in mid. That was the game-winning move.
Pretty much. I mean, and that was, what, 120 points or so ago?
Yeah.
Ish. Like, no, maybe even more than that. Like, that was like the pinnacle movement of Orange Logo, which made them take the game. And that is not the full lineup of Orange Logo.
Oh, switch up Moonapar with Denshi. You have it. You have the lineup.
I mean, I know that, you know, Helseth, for example, playing on Zerk Amulet, playing a different build to what he might play, trying to put the guys off as well, so maybe thinking what they might play in WTS, but I'm not sure Orange Logo are going to be the guy and the guys that fall for that, obviously. But, you know, and also, what do they want to do in these Go4 Cups in the lead up to WTS?
Yeah, and honestly, first game, Orange Logo, they were also trying stuff.
I like what you're saying there. Trying some stuff.
Yeah.
With Necro Mini and Mensa.
Why not?
Trying some stuff.
It was the first round. It's a best of 3.
That's very true. That's very true.
Do it. Say it with the
Just do it.
words of Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf. Anyway. It's a great song.
You did not rap at the Lord Rush. I'm proud of you.
I didn't.
We're also, of course, really proud of Orange Logo. They did it, the second team. So we have, is there a third place match?
Possibly. Not too sure.
Would have been WAG versus Orange Logonaires, right?
Yep, Orange Logonaires won.
Or is that even happening? Wasn't it that Oh, no. There's an orange logo now. Got it. Yeah.
Yeah. We're done. A bit later today
Yeah.
than normal. It's been a good cup. Had quite a few viewers as well. 1.23k we had today, so that's pretty good.
Something along those. Congratulations again. Second time in a row. We'll have to see. WTF. Maybe TCG. So, America, we always tend to forget about those two guys over too exciting times, guys. So, next Sunday, we'll have to see. But on this Sunday, present Sunday, you can see at 10 p.m. About 2.5 hours.
Oh.
About
really? 10 p.m. CET. Oh, okay.
CEST.
CEST.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah. On this channel, NA version of this. So have a look if maybe I'm able to. Any other tournaments we need to talk about?
ESL Weekly Cup this Thursday could be the last opportunity to see myself and Nick cast before WTS. So you might want to check that out. Obviously, NA today, later. ESL wise, that is it. AG Monday as well. Don't forget that. And yeah, that's pretty much the go. Aspect GG and what's not. So make sure you check out everything that is going on. And maybe check out streams that are happening after this one as well, because obviously, you know, there might be some winners streaming, there might be some losers streaming. And I meant that because of losing a game, not anything else. Just before someone says that in chat. But yeah, otherwise, I've been Jebro. That's been Chronic Gamer. I'll say it this week. But goodbye. Thank you very much. Mini salute.